Hey everyone, hey Kevin, and happy Wednesday. Adam is probably going to work on the battle map today to make it more usable. Yeah, the change that made battle, that put battles into their own windows is live on Steam. Yeah. Okay, what I was trying to figure out, which is why I was a little bit confused for a sec here, is how do you stop taking response? There we go. Okay, so I figured this out without even asking the question. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. So Skeleseller feedback. The forum Skeleseller feedback is no longer accepting responses. Try contacting the owner if you think this is a mistake. So this, the only link people should really have to this is through an old version of the game, which is certainly possible for people to have. So they're basically going to be playing the game. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I'd love to submit feedback. They're going to click the button and it's going to bring them to here. I could have just left the form open, but then I need to keep checking it. So I think this is fine. And if someone really wants to give me the feedback on that old version, then whatever. They'll seek me out somehow. So that's been done. Next up, we need to go close an issue here. Oh, did they change this? I don't remember these being like big icons like that. Huh, interesting. I don't know if they changed that or not. All right, what am I searching for? 924. I guess let's just click one of these and type 924. Okay, because almost all of this has been tackled at this point. And the only things remaining, this is done. The only things remaining are things that I think should be in separate issues altogether. This I still think is potentially good to do. And this is potentially good to do. This is... It's like a totally different issue. Maybe I shouldn't file a new thing then. Maybe I should just leave this as is. I mean, it's already written as future PR. Test what it would be like to show the battle state when minimized. Maybe just life roll-ups. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, sure. All right, so let's get to it. We want to tackle text in screen space. I think I made a branch or a get stash list or a stash of this. Yeah, there it is. Stash one. All right, how do you pop that one? Stash pop stash at one. And I'm on, everything's all set up. Huh, yeah, that's it. Okay, but this needs to be merged now. Resolve in merge editor. I'll put chat on the other screen. Did it produce a Discord announcement? Yeah, it did. All right. So this had changed. Yeah, all I want is the last floating text code in here. So this goes here. And then how do we just mark that we've manually handled this? Manual resolution. All right, that's probably fine. And that's the only problem? Yeah, let's click the plus button. Okay, cool. Or at least I think that worked. Hmm. I think so. Let's try running it. So I did not finish this work. And floating text is used for three things in the game right now, I think. Or three things in the town. Getting money, getting sludge, and not being able to cast a spell. Did I add? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, right. Only the first one changes. I mean, that's already pretty much. Oh, nope. That doesn't look good. Okay, so when you try dragging like this, the label moves. I wonder what's causing that to happen. I don't even remember this code. So I gotta go figure this out again. There must be a process. Here it is. It sets a position equal to the position of this thing, but it was done before the camera has been clamped. Do we use this for anything else? We do. Hmm. I think this is just the order in which process is hit, which means we'll potentially run into this issue in the future because of this clamp position of camera bounds. Okay, let's try something a little crazy here. Okay, here's what I think we can do to fix this, but this is really, really stupid. We pass in process 0, which is going to force the camera's process to run. And if that fixes this, then at least I've got some insight. I'm pretty sure this is what's causing it, though. We're just not clamping beforehand. We could make a call to clamp or like ensure that we've clamped. Okay, so we do this, and then we zoom out, and then do this. Yeah, okay, that fixed it. Oh, God. Okay, well, yeah, the proper thing to do would be to call this. Wait, how does this even make sense? Position wouldn't have changed, so why would it need to be clamped? Yeah, curious. The bounds change or if the position change, which is in zooming or in... Oh, it's an unhandled input. Oh, I see. Oh, so we could just clamp this here then. Oh, that's not that bad. Yeah. And then position... Whoops. So now we don't need this hack here anymore. And this is a proper way of doing things. And that's much better. So it's not process order. It's order of me calling other functions and doing things here. All right, so we zoom out, we do this. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah. So now we just need to get this working the proper way. We need floating text to eventually do this. I just hacked everything together over here, and we're not even tweening this property. And there was something else I wrote about this if I'm remembering correctly, but I don't remember what it was. Text in screen space, but the zooms. Did I not write notes about this? Text. I don't think I wrote a note about this. It's not a big deal. I think I can figure this out. Because I got this from Skittercat, right? Do I still have this written here? Aha. Here it is. Fix text rendering in camera space. Okay, so moving battle windows is done. This is what we're working on. So we can delete that from there. I should probably message Skittercat. I'll write a note about that. God, I gotta eventually tackle this stuff. There. Okay. Message Skittercat about battle windows being able to move. All right, selling stuff or feeding to slimes. Places where we use this. Selling stuff, feeding to either slime, and not being able to cast a spell. This is done. Nudge the text via get position of object in screen space. Call get position of object in screen space via the text processing. Give it the town. Maybe just make another class for this. I mean, look, when all's said and done, this doesn't sound that hard to do. we just need to get, I guess, this reconciled. And it's just changing how we nudge this. So I need the nudges to work correctly. So how's that going to function? Basically, it's going to move some position based on our zoom level. I think that's the problem. Yeah, so we want the nudge to be greater when we're zoomed in. We should probably check in that whole tree sway thing as well. I showed it to my wife yesterday, and she said when it's zoomed out, it does look a little weird, but when it's zoomed in, it looks nice. And I think we even had a global a while ago about what the camera zoom is. So it shouldn't be that hard to do. I wonder if we should apply it anywhere over here. I think it'd be better. I think it's okay if this is not animated, because this is technically just a map. Although it probably would be nice if you saw trees swaying over here too. But yeah. All right, so how are we going to do this? Nudge the text. Normally we'd have a tween here. And if I set the same tween up, it's going to look wrong. Because we're going to tween the position. Oh, maybe that's all we need to do though. Is just set up the tween once in a different space. It's not even working. Oh, presumably because oh, I see. Well, I kind of see. What? What caused that? Something's bizarre. Why is it taking so long for that to happen? Yeah, very strange. I don't know what's doing that. I think it's that we're overriding the position here. Yeah. But that's only for one of these. It's only the last one. If I do this for any other one, it should just immediately move it. Huh. I don't know why that's happening then. Oh, and this is going to mess up the tween. So we need to get... Oh, yeah. How will this work? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Huh. All right, this will probably be a little tougher than I thought then. So we're tweening the position here to just a different location. That's not going to work unless we update the tween every time, which I'm not even sure you can do that. Can you? Tween dot... What if I type property here? Get property list. Turns the object's property list. Name, class name, type hint string. Is this what I think it is? Because if so, then we could potentially modify this. It's an array of dictionaries. See Godot.property hint. Range, enum. There should be... There's nothing else here, is there? No. All right. Yeah, so here's the problem. I want to nudge the text upward, which we typically did via a tween. And we could just code our own tween, I guess. Problem is that every frame we set the position of this thing to where it belongs in camera space. And the size. Don't we change the size? Yeah. So we would need to track an offset that we tween ourselves. I guess that's not that hard to do. Yeah, I guess that's not hard. And then the floating text just has that information in it. That offset needs to have the zoom applied to it. So pretty much what we're doing is we're changing its position in camera space. So this should be pretty much exactly the same, but then every time this runs, we need to run this afterward. I think we could maybe do that by having a tween that runs in parallel. Well, it's always got to be in parallel, but after this. And I don't think there's a way to guarantee that. Oh man. Godot tween parallel. Run at the same time. Yeah, dot parallel. Oh man. Okay, let's try something here. How do we do this? Tween method. What does this take in? A callable variant double from to duration. Okay, so from is going to be 0 to 22 over the duration. Oh man. Okay, so this doesn't happen. Or I guess it does. Yeah, I guess we only have that, right? And then I copy paste all this stuff in there. Yeah. Man, if this works, I'll be pretty happy. All right, so we're supposed to tween it from wherever it started. I guess we need to get a start position here. Doesn't this have, it has a parent? What are we doing? What happens when you press page up? Create it in the UI at the portal position. Sure. Sure. So it's going to be this position plus whatever. Shouldn't this take in an integer? It just has a callable. Yeah, it does take in an integer. Hey, Boomer. Got to run to a work meeting. Well, hello. This is, I think, the longest amount of time I've probably ever seen with only one person chatting for like 18 minutes. Man. Well, with only one person chatting, the 18 minutes part is the duration. Anyway, I hope you have a good work meeting. Also, I'm fine with people not chatting, and I am actually able to focus, which is kind of nice. All right, so we need an int passed in over here. Actually, these are variants, aren't they? What are these? Yeah, they're variants. So we can make them whatever we want. So we should probably make them floats, I guess. What's for lunch today? I don't know what's for lunch today. Float offset. All right, please work. Oh, we don't have the camera here. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just hack this entire thing. The UI has a town, which we're gonna make public for now. And then we're gonna force the parent to be a UI here. So we're gonna get the camera from UI parent camera. It's not even that, it's underscore town.camera. And then what? This fails because there's no UI is. Also, what are we doing? I'm trying to get the, oh darn it, this doesn't work. I'm trying to get the what is it? The text to show up in cameras, no, in screen space. And we already had this working, but now I'm trying to get it to nudge upward. Camera does not contain, oh, whoops, it's zoom. All right, so I don't care about that. Now what are we missing? Operator plus cannot be applied to operands of type vector and float. Sure, so this is vector2.up times that. And now this is camera like that. All right, let's try that out. This is almost certainly not going to work. Does tween method not allow for transition types and stuff? All right, I don't see any text anywhere, so this probably didn't work. Does this not allow for that? Huh. Oh, wait, it has a tweener that it returns, and that's probably how you set this stuff? Yeah, you can do set trans, set ease. Okay, yeah. And its modulate also happens. Oh, it's invisible. Oh, because these need to run in parallel? Maybe. Although they're not set to do that by default. Tween dot parallel. Is this defaulting to true? Yeah. Still not working. I messed something up. I don't know what though. All right, let's put a breakpoint there. This is being hit. So we set its position to 1042, 345. Hey, puppet. And then we set all this other stuff. This should be fine. Yeah, and the offset is 0 or close to 0. Yeah. So where does it think this thing is? 1042, 345. Then the town is trying to override it? No. 1000 maybe off screen? It's the X coordinate though. I guess maybe if I'm zoomed out. Hey, PG King. Is text showing up somewhere? I can't tell what's going wrong here. We had this code working, but it was getting it based on the portal position. But that's what's being passed in here as position. Let me add an offset. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong. And we're putting this in the UI. The only thing I could think is that its modulate is currently... Oh no, this is going from 120. Oh, what's that? Oh God. Okay. That's maybe the issue. They need to wait longer. I don't know. I need to figure out what that's doing too. No, I'm still not seeing anything. Yeah. Okay, well, let's try something else then here. Let's say floating text opposition equals vector 2.0. So I'm going to just override whatever we did and see if we can spot this. I don't see that at all either now, huh? And we know this is getting hit. Yeah, it's getting hit. So we set its position to 0. Then we set its font size to what exactly? 84? Yeah, we should definitely be able to see that. How did I mess this up though? Like there's nothing else I actually did here, right? Unless there's some piece of code that I'm just missing. Oh, that shouldn't be there. Not that that matters. But yeah, that shouldn't be there. Anything I changed here? We used to just go to its position plus this. Oh, we added nudge. What is nudge? I don't care about that right now. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. Anything else? No, that's it. Huh, weird. Yeah, weird indeed. I don't know what's going wrong here. It's solely in this code. All right, well, then let's set this to some new vector 2. Let's set it to 200 by 200. I just want to see where is this thing even showing up? Because we know it's got a font size that's large enough. And nothing else should be changing this. I don't see this either. What is happening? Maybe it never got added to the, maybe it never got added. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, there's add child right here. So it's in the scene. It has the label. And I broke it in here somehow. What if we do all of this outside of here? And I just run that once. Oh, offset doesn't exist. Yeah. That code doesn't matter anyway, because the next line sets it to 200, 200. But is that somehow coming into play? I don't even know what 200, 200 is relative to. It should be the UI, which means we should just always see it somewhere, and we don't. Okay, let's do this. Let's go into Godot. And how to even check this though? We need this to last a very, very long time. Oh, maybe it's being freed. Oh my God, it's being freed immediately. That's why. Because I set this all to parallel. So it's running this immediately and then just freeing it. Oh my God. Hey, Puce. Okay, well, my bad. That was dumb. Yeah. All right, so now we should see it at 200, 200. Yeah, there it is. And it's just fading out immediately because we need to not run this in parallel. In fact, why do we even have this here? Hey, Mr. Halsey. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, everybody. I'm waiting to see. Is it a raid and run? Totally fine if it is. But yeah, I hope you're streaming well. And welcome in. We are working on trying to get text to not look blurry. And I'll show what I mean in just a sec here. At the beep. Beep. It is. All right, well, if you do have to run, I hope you have a good work day, Mr. Halsey. All right, so see that text right over there, this very tiny text that says testeroni? So depending on the camera zoom, we need it to, and it's like kind of working, but only once it moves. Yeah, so depending on the camera zoom, we need it to look like it's also zooming, as you can see here, and be positioned correctly as well. What was happening before is we used to render it and then like upscale our entire viewport. So here, all of these graphics look fine because they're just pixel art. So scaling them it's going to look good at any zoom level. We could scale it to like 1,000,000 and it's still going to just look like pixels. But text doesn't work that way. So what we need to do is we need to render it in screen space, but position it in camera space. And we kind of sort of have that working. I actually have no idea what this line is for. It's just to make this wait, but I don't know why we made it wait. Was that there already? Did I add that in? Oh man, if I added that in, then that means that that line was never supposed to be there. Whoops. Let's go find out. Loading text. Oh, it was me. Okay. I thought this had a purpose, so I left it there, but it doesn't. It was just me messing around with something, apparently. All right, well, that makes things easier. So now this will hopefully be positioned. Oh, wait. We still have the 200, 200 here. Yeah, get rid of this. Okay, please work. Because, again, if this works, then we can spend like an hour cleaning this up and I'd still be happy. Would you look at that? All right, that's pretty much exactly what we wanted. Except for the easing, I guess. Why did I pick 0 and 22 here? What are those numbers? Because of this vector.up times 22 plus nudge. So this should have been this plus nudge. This should have had trans and easing set on it. So var idk equals this. I don't even know what this thing is. What is this? It's a method tweener. Okay, so tweener. Or method tweener, I guess. And then we do this stuff here, which should make it look like what we used to have. I'm hoping. Cubic is very different from linear, obviously. So it should look like it used to, please. Yeah, that's pretty good. Wow, that wasn't bad at all. That really wasn't bad. I mean, now we have cleanup to do. Wait, isn't it supposed to, is it supposed to do something slightly different than this? Vector 2 dot up. Oh, also we have, I think, some transform set that'll make this look weird when zoomed out. Hey, Avo, welcome in. Like this looks smooth and nice. I think this is fine. But when zoomed out, you see some temporal aliasing there. And I think I know what's causing that. I think it's coming from, where is this thing? Here, right here. I think we have to set snap vertices to pixel. Just stumbled into the stream from the front page. From the front page. Like a customized thing on the front page? Or do you mean when I, like a week ago? I don't know on the front page, am I? Okay, no. I do not seem to be. I just want to make sure. Just recommended. Gotcha. Yeah. Welcome in. We're working on this game, Skeleseller. And I'm testing something out now, which I don't know how much of this you already heard, but we want this text to be crisp at any level that we render it at. And it's kind of a little bit weird to say. It is crisp right now, I think, but it's not really that easy to read because it's tiny. But obviously, as you zoom in, it looks very clear. The problem is, I guess the problem was even more obvious when we did this. Also, that's another issue. So yeah, now when we zoomed out, yeah, now this looks great. It's still, yeah, I think this is fine. I'm not going to worry about this, how it's moving upward. So the other issues we have to solve, we need to like clean up how we've done all of this stuff, of course. So this is done. Wait, right? Yeah, this is done. This is done. So clean everything up. This is like, stop having the camera be public. Make sure we didn't ruin battle text. But then the other issue we got to solve is make sure this doesn't show on top of menus and stuff, which I think is just where we're adding this. I think we just added to the UI. Yeah, we just need some section here, probably like right above this one, that says, here's where we add all floating text. In fact, I'm not even totally sure why we added this to the UI. Couldn't we have just added it to town node or something? What would have caused a problem with that? I guess because it's not in screen space. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not in screen space. So now there's going to be some like random spot. Oh yeah, and then that's going to fail too. Okay, well, let's see what happens if we hadn't done that. Let's do that. Delete this. Yeah. Like I said, pretty certain this is going to look wrong. It's still fail. Oh, this isn't a town. It's a, God. All right, it's this dot get parent. This is not what I thought was going to be wrong. I thought I wrote this fine, but I think that it's going to show in the wrong position. Got to give the demo a try after another work. Yeah. I'd love to know what you think. Cannot cast sub viewport. Where is this stupid thing? Where is town node? It's there. So it's the parent. Yes, it's 4 parents. Okay, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is purposely hacky. I am not trying to actually get this to look good yet. I just want to see what happens when I do this, and I think the position is going to be wrong. Where art thou text? It's probably on the screen somewhere, and it's just really hard to see. I don't see it anywhere. No, never mind. Maybe it's just not there at all. But I was pretty certain that it'd be in the wrong spot. Anyway, that's fine. Yeah, so here's what we go back to then. We change this back to this over here back to this. And then instead of in UI, we get something like what do we do here? Public control floating text node. Then we just get that. Floating text. Cool. Go put that over there. So this should go below contextual tips. All right, so now this shouldn't go over menus. Which is pretty minor. It's still going over menus. How dare you? Did I type that incorrectly? No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's my bad. All right, now it should be fixed. And then all we have to do is clean up, I think. Oh, this broke because it thinks it's got a UI parent. Yeah, it doesn't. It has a UI grandparent. Hey, we did it. Okay, so yeah. Oh, it's still showing on the menu. Why is it doing that? If it's added here. Oh, because floating text itself has some like mega Z index. Ugh. Okay, well, we can just change it, I suppose. Floating text.z index. Actually, before we do this, let's take a look at how it's set right now. Z index is 7 and it's not relative. So let's set it to 0 and make it relative. Z as relative equals true. This is only when we have it in the UI. And that way it's positioned based on where it is in the scene, which I think should always make sense. Let's try that again. Yeah, nice. And it should not show over this or over this, which I can't even press that key because I don't have a town hall. Yep. It shouldn't show over any of this stuff. Oh, it's showing over that. So I guess we put this up there. Yeah. Yeah, it would look weird if it covered even that menu. Yeah, nice. That's what I want. What about the buildings menu? Same thing. Okay, good. Hire adventurer. We put this up there. Still looks good. Cool. Yeah. Not too bad. So now it's the cleanup time, I think. And before we do that, we should really save all of this stuff off. So I can't possibly break this. What happened here? What? That should have been deleted in a totally different commit. That doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what that is. Huh. Go find out. It's in town, right? Yeah, line 71. That shouldn't exist over here. What? Wow, would you look at that? It does still exist over here. Yeah, that's a mistake. That doesn't exist at all anymore. Huh, okay, I'll write this down and we'll just write like after finishing this. Make sure this doesn't exist in town.tscn. Yeah, the only other thing I don't totally understand is what is node paths? Oh, I think I get it now. This is something that was exported from a script. Okay, cool. So that's fine. Let's ignore this. I think town.tscn is okay. Next up is the UI added in floating text. Totally fine. We need them in screen space. Then this is also good. So far, everything's fine. And now we get into the ugly code. Yeah, so we don't need this here anymore. Last floating text. We don't need that. We don't need any of this. We do want this here for now, but it's debug code. We do want this here. We don't need this or this or this. Well, actually, maybe we do. Because how else will we get the camera here? No, we'll need to know that there's a camera, right? We might need a variation of this function that takes in a camera. But if we did, then we wouldn't need this hack. I don't even know where the hack is. There it is. Yeah, we wouldn't need that. We just pass in a camera. Then all this stuff would just work. So we have a camera version and a non-camera version. I think that would make sense. And then it just changes what tween it does. And why is this public? It's never accessed publicly anymore, right? Yeah, that was only so that main could do something on that. And then the only other hacky thing that we have now is in UI making this public. Yeah, those things are fine. Okay, this isn't too bad. I think we just need to make a new method now. Before I've done that, let's go and save every single thing in this file. I'm just gonna save this in temp somewhere. Floating text.cs. There, great. Now we ignore that. All right, so the only difference is how we nudge this thing. Also, doesn't floating text itself have a... No, this is the whole class. And we just need to do this on the tween here. All right, so we call this in a few different locations. And I think I know what all of them are, but let me make sure that I know what all of them are. This is, let's do this. Okay, so there are 27 results, 26 calls, that means. Battles do it. So battle, this is all the same. Battles do it. We know that. And yes, most of these are just battles doing this stuff. This is a definition for the battle. That's fine. Battle stuff, battle. Yep. Okay, then, so that was all battle stuff. This is a slime. So we have like battle is, I don't know, 20 of them. Slime is going to be like 2 of them. Money is going to be 1 or 2 of them. And there's one other one. Oh yeah, the enchanter. And that's going to be like 2 of them or something like that. But anyway, let's keep going through this. So we have the slime. That's a category. That's fine. This is the enchanter. That's fine. This is the definition. This is a test function. This is money. This is something we already looked at. This is the battle. We're back to battle stuff. Yeah, so this list is exhaustive, wherever that was, this one. And all of these are expected. So these need to be in screen space. This can be in either coordinate space only because there's no zooming. So if we put it into screen space, it would be future-proof. And then we only need one function. So the question is, should we do that? And I guess the answer is based on what is the performance impact, although maybe probably shouldn't be prematurely considering this, but still I kind of want to look at this. Floating text. So the difference between what we would do in camera space, this is just going to tween a property, versus calling a method that then does this code. Fine, I'll reload your VS Code. That's how you want to play it. All right, let's go rewind this code, which is technically constant time, but it's not like just adding a couple of numbers. It's actually also getting a rectangle, calling a couple of functions, etc. And then doing this stuff, getting this. And then these, I don't know what the performance impact of this is. It's calling into Godot's native code to change an override. So all of this is constant time, unless Godot's doing something here that's, I don't know how it does this stuff. Probably has a dictionary for this, so that should probably also be constant time. So yeah, we probably just shouldn't worry about this and should just maintain one version of this function. Except for there was one other weird thing that I saw, which is, shouldn't this be moved left and right? We have -5, 5 right there. Plus nudge. No, yeah, we saw that. Okay, it's just that it doesn't... Wait, am I making this up? Am I misremembering? I thought text would go up into the side a little bit. Because that's not what we're seeing here. It starts with a random X offset, and then it just goes straight up. But what happens in battle? Oh, in battle, we break this. Well, in battle, we would have just called this code. And we can see the exact same thing here, vector.up. And the nudge doesn't change. All right, I'm going to do something here because I'm not sure if I'm going crazy. So let's just run any version that we have here. In fact, we could do this through tools, open, export a Mac build. I just want to enter any battle and see what's going on. There, done. I think you're right. Is that what the interval was there for? No, the interval was something I added in as me being stupid. Yeah, they're moving at an angle. So maybe I changed some other code. Floating text. Position plus up times 22 plus nudge. The only way that this could do anything different is if nudge ever changed, but it doesn't. I mean, changed during this tween. Oh, wait. No. I understand. I think I understand. Yeah, I understand. This is the destination. We're setting the position somewhere then, right? Yeah, the up is not what controls this. Battle quick. Something's off. You should pass it to the tween offset. I'm setting nudge up here. It should get captured. And it should be fine. Maybe it has to do with... No, maybe I'm wrong about this. Let's just put a breakpoint there. Okay, so nudge is set to 5. The position of this thing is set to this. Oh, I think I see. Yeah, I see. We're not tweening this part of this. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we need to tween the nudge as well now. Because it used to just be a destination. Well, we could just have it be a destination anyway, right? We could just figure out what this is. And then just tween according to that. And just have it go in the 0 to 1, I guess. Yeah. No, you're right. And even if you're not right, I now understand what I need to do. I was wondering if there's a reason for using C# instead of Godot script. Is this, or yeah, is it developed in Godot? It is, yeah. The why I'm using C# is at that link, Viejo, and it's not meant to be a universal, like everyone should be using C#, and if they don't know it, then they should go learn it or something. It's just, I thought it was a better choice for this project. And GDScript has made some improvements since we started the project. Actually, is this written here? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty exhaustive for now. Okay, so here's what we could do. All we're really tweening here is one position to another. So we could figure out vector 2, like target position, is equal to all of this stuff. This should be, yeah, that's correct. So then we get rid of this. Or really just change it. I guess let's just change it so I don't break anything. So this is going to be position dot lerp target position offset. I think this will work. Then we just make offset go from 0 to 1. Okay, let's try that. I'd be pretty impressed if that's correct on the first try. Let's see. Does it look the same though? And that's the thing that's kind of tough because I wanted this to look exactly the same as how it used to. Except for now it's got the sideways movement. Then yeah, I have no idea. How do we check? I need to take a video. I don't feel like doing that. It looks good enough. All right. Well, that's not bad. Okay, so we delete this stuff. Delete this. And the only other thing I was talking about here is, could we make the battle text use this too? So that we pretty much just take in a camera that's controlling this. Can we get a camera from a node? Because if we can do that, then... No, that's impossible. Well, it might not be impossible, but it's not possible for the scenario we have. Because this is always going to render... Oh, no, it's not always going to render in the UI. Oh, maybe it is sometimes possible. The UI is located... No, never mind. Yeah, there wouldn't be a way to do this. Tween method also supports passing vector 2 as the offset. Oh, yeah, because they're variants. Oh, cool. So we could just set position and target position. Thank you for recommending that. And target position we have, and then this just becomes offset. Or maybe we should say something like tweened position. Yeah. Wait, that's a float. Vector 2. Nice. Yeah, still looks good. What happens if we buy some stuff in the shops? Let's do that. Go, customers, make a purchase. No, it breaks. Yeah, I haven't fixed everything else yet. That's fine. Yeah, so I think we need to pass in a camera. But if this is already in screen space, then we don't have to. So yeah, maybe having two functions is best. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's fine. And we already saved off the code, although maybe I should save this off again. Temp, loading text, backup 2.cs. I don't think we're actually going to break this or anything, but might as well try. Okay. So we need two functions here. One that takes in the parent text, position, color, scenario, extra nudge, and a camera, I guess. Camera, 2D camera. So this is going to be create floating text in screen space, but that abides by a camera. What do you call that? Maybe we just say with camera. Using camera. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Naming probably leaves something to be desired. All right, now we copy paste all of this, and then we refactor this so that we have some common method here, or common thing that we're doing. So here we took in a camera, so we don't need to define another camera here, and everything should just work there. We don't need a set parallel call. We don't need this in the camera code. We do need a tween, and how we tween is going to be based on kind of the stuff after this. So what are we setting up here? We're setting up a bunch of stuff. Well, like I said, even if this takes like an hour, it's fine. All right, so what are we getting out of this thing? We need to figure out, we need to do all of this stuff and then create a tween and then have our specific functions do something different. So private void, name this later. It's got to do all of this. So what are we setting up? Why don't we just save this stuff right in the floating text? At which point, why is this even a... Why would this even be a static function? It wouldn't be. Yeah. If you're texting. Just in case I forget, let's put it to do there. Yeah. Floating text dot create tween. Okay, so we want to save off that tween. So private tween equals null. Actually, this could potentially just be null. I don't know. So we just don't even make floating text if battle simulator's on. We throw if that thing is null. Won't this throw anyway? Because we'll try to call add child on something that's null. I think it will. Yeah, I think we can just delete this. Then we instantiate a floating text, add it, set the position and everything. I guess we should make an init function here. God, this is going to be a little frustrating. All right, so we make one of these. We could initialize it with a parent, a position, the text, the scenario. Oh, it's a font size override there. The font size is going to get overridden if this is ever in screen space. This, I guess, shouldn't be part of init. Set it to modulate to whatever color we have. Do we ever even do that? Why would we pass in a color? Why don't we just let the BB code stuff handle this? So why does this keep breaking? Yeah, I don't like this idea of passing in a color. So what happens? Color is here. What is color set to? Red, green. All right, I see. So these colors are used no matter what. Oh man, I think they should just be in BB code. Because we have two ways to specify color right now. And I don't think that's smart. But I also don't think that's really the point of this right now. So I'll write that down as like post cleanup, I guess. Consider removing color from the floating text parameters. Yeah, I'll add a third and then a fourth way. An enumeration for color. Then we make a giant switch statement. All right, so it's a matter of reconciling these things still. So fine. All right, let's get to work. Node parent. Vector to position. String text. So we want all of this in there. This. Yeah, there was a comment already, I know. All right, so we instantiate this, then we call floating text.init with the parent position and text. Delete all of that now. This would need to take all that same information in. Probably needs really all of this stuff, right? We'll figure it out. Okay, what else? If the scenario is this, so this needs to only be done in the battle version of this function, which is, I guess, all this is ever going to be used for here. So the font override doesn't matter. This is create. Okay, yeah, so delete this from down here then. Now set the modulate. This is something we're going to eventually just delete. But as long as we have it for now, then we might as well put this here. Then come up with a nudge, add in the extra nudge. Let's go get the extra nudge. Then we need a scenario here. We could bundle all of this into like floating text parameters or something. Yeah, this needs to be lowercase position. All right, what else? Duration, tween. Okay, so we make the tween and then we do stuff based on whether this was based on what function we have here. So the duration shouldn't actually, maybe it should be here. You can't just set a duration on a tween, right? No, you have to set it on a specific part of a tween. So I guess let's save off tween duration. Private, what is that, a float? Yeah. Private float tween duration. And set that here. And then make the tween that we have, which is called tween. Yeah. And that's that. Now what's nudge about? Vector to nudge. Yeah. All right. I think this is good. So now, in case this wasn't annoying enough, now we called this. Name this later with all that stuff. This is going to return a floating text. No, maybe we just get rid of this from here. Yeah. All right, now it says not all things return a value, so return floating text. Good. Get that from here. And then go do a bunch of stuff. So delete pretty much all of this. Yeah, hooray. All right, we're getting there. This can't be static anymore. It could be static. We just need to access this stuff from floating text. And what's the position doing here now? This should be the floating text position, which is technically what was passed in here too. This makes it a little bit weird. Duration is going to be the floating text tween duration. And the tween is going to be this. All right, so why is this a problem? Camera 2D does not contain a definition for this. This isn't a camera 2D. This is our camera. And then name this later is a problem? Drat. That was supposed to be on a floating text. So we need to instantiate this thing first. So this is technically static. This is kind of dumb. We could just get the floating text and then pass this in, I suppose. I don't think it really matters too much. All right, if we're going to do that, then we do this. Floating text dot nudge. Okay, how are we looking? We're looking pretty good. And then we modulate this stuff. And this could be just done on here. Yeah. So we could add a private void fade out and free. So we put that here. Floating text dot add fade out and free. Yeah. Nice. Tween this. Cool. All right, so this function should be as minimal as it can be. We check if we're simulating. If so, we don't do anything. Then we name this. I guess let's name this now. What is this? Create floating text. Well, it is. But this one's created using camera. And this would be like create floating text without camera. So this would just be create floating text. It's more like, I guess it is create. All right, fine. We'll name it that. Create floating text. All right, now this function also needs to change. So let's go do that. So we get rid of all of this stuff. We do keep that scenario in. The modulate was already set. The nudge is already set. The duration's already set. The tween is already made. We do need this aspect here. And then we need this to be the tween duration. We don't want to set parallel call. Target position stuff isn't needed. And then we add in the thing at the end. All right, there we go. Now what's this saying? That static functions need to be higher? Public should come before private, but static should come before not static. I think this is a tiny bit of a mess. Yeah. Okay, so now what changes? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so there's no more create floating text. This is like without camera is what we're doing. And then in the town version of this, we create it with camera and we pass in the camera here. Except for that doesn't work, does it? Using camera. Oh, God. I called it using and without. All right, sure. And then I guess we change that everywhere. Well, this one doesn't really matter, but sure, let's do that too, I guess. And then there's one other one here. Camera. All right, let's try it. Oh, man. Enchanter Den had something specific here. Town.floating text node. That's not going to exist anymore. What is this? Town node. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Where are you? I don't even see floating text node. Where does it think this thing is? Oh, it's not a specific node. That's too bad. All right, now we got to fix these issues. So this is town.ui.floating text node. And this is with the camera, except for that's using camera. Town.camera. Probably should just have the town do this, right? Yeah, we already have this here. This is town node. That's not even right. UI.floating text node. Yeah, the rest of that's fine. So I think we can simplify this function. We call this, and it takes in text, which we have, message, position, which we have, spellbook.position, color, which is yellow, and then a scenario, which is the UI message. Yeah, so that simplifies that call. And this should be a problem in the chef slime as well, right? No. What about in the recycler? Floating text. They don't use floating text? Oh, because they just call modify money. And wasn't there a fourth location? I don't know. Why don't we call this from everywhere? Yeah, what am I doing? Just call create floating text on this thing. I mean, that one doesn't matter in particular, but the other one might. Yeah, this is wrong. Good thing I looked at it. And there we have it. Let's try running. I still see red in the... Oh, it disappeared. All right, so does it work? That one works. What about selling stuff? Or whoops, that's not selling stuff. But the battle's working. Okay. Selling stuff and feeding to the slime. Is that crisp? I mean, when I zoom in here, it's going to look like it's not crisp. So it's really hard to tell. Because you pretty much just need eagle eyes, right? Yeah, I think it's crisp. Let's play the is it crisp or not game. Okay, the only other thing I haven't tested... Oh, no, there are two things I haven't tested. One is giving this thing crops. Yeah. Now, is that good? Wait. We're zoomed in 3x. So yes, that is good. And then the final thing is casting spells when you don't have the resources. Yeah. I have 2 enchanters right now, which is why this looks weird. But if we just start a new game, I'll only make 1 this time. Wow. All right. Not too bad. We did it. Now it does kind of jitter, right? What's causing that to happen? Because I think it should be. Wait, the viewport wouldn't even come into play here. Does this have some? No, it doesn't have any setting to control that. Just in floating text. Oh, the default. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. 2D. Snap transforms to pixel. I think we just turned that off. And now. Oh, it's so smooth. It's so smooth. Excellent. Wow. All right. I'm pretty happy with this. But not necessarily. Well, I'm happy for 2 reasons. 2 reasons are we got the task pretty much done. There's a little bit more cleanup. But 2, we proved that we can do the task. And what I was a little worried about is every once in a while I enter some like work slumps. And we started like 4 different things last week or the week before. I didn't finish any of them. I didn't really want to finish them. Oh, by the way, speaking of not finishing stuff, last night I spent a long time working on the 4th music track and I made some more progress on it. And I even used the synth for one of these sounds. This one. I know it's very quiet, so you can't really hear it. I guess I can turn this up. um, I am so impressed with the Mini Freak in general. I'm so impressed. Like, and this is one of the main reasons I bought it. This is Mini Freak V, which is just the virtual version of it, but it's basically just the hardware in virtual form. The reason why I think this is so great is because it replicates pretty much exactly what the hardware does, but also lets you see things in a little bit more of a usable way. And if you haven't used synths before, none of this is going to make sense. But the final thing that I think is nice is you can actually see everything that's going on with these waveforms. So if you're learning how to make your own sounds, this like really helps you understand what these things are doing. So happy for 1.8 seconds and on to the next thing. That is kind of the nature of this stuff. Celebrate the successes, but then you got to move on at some point. Can't just be riding a high from 2 years ago. All right, anything else we have to do here? Why did the project change? Oh yeah, I had to turn that off. Okay, this looks good, but this can be checked in on its own. So let's go check just this in, town.tscn. Remove unused exported node. I had deleted this from player held item, but never deleted it from the scene. All right, so that's the one change. Now all of these other changes I think are bundled together. We have a floating text node there. This looks good. This looks good. This technically could have been done separately. Maybe I should just write a note about this. Would this have been a problem with anything before this? Let me just comment that and then run this. This is probably going to be really hard to test because we just need to move the camera and hope to see an issue. I don't even know where we would see the issue though. Something that uses the camera's position. What uses the camera's position? I don't think anything does. Yeah, all right. I don't know. Well, it's an issue for this, so whatever. That's fixed now. Let's go delete that thing from town that creates a special one of these. Create floating text. Yeah, this is pretty simple code too. All right, not bad, not bad. We need to add comments, but I'm looking for anything that might look drastically wrong here. So far, I don't see anything. Yeah, all of that looks okay. Floating text node is gone. That's good. Town node shouldn't be used for that anymore. Good. Oh, this. Whoa, that's delete that. Shouldn't be there at all. Okay, yeah, yeah, wow. Okay, so we got to go clean that up, or write comments for it, I mean. So this will create a, come on, floating text that is positioned, well, it's always positioned in the parent, that is intended to be positioned in screen space, which means what? What is this thing called? A canvas layer? In a canvas layer. But that gets, or no, it's tended to be added in screen space. But it gets positioned and sized according to a camera. For example, actually pretty much everything should fall into this category. The only time you when text should be in, when text is in the world itself, you almost certainly want to use this function. The only time you may not is if the camera never changes position or zoom. Yeah. In which case, use, nice if it tab that whole thing in. Okay, now that function, we're going to write a comment here saying, see the comment for this one. Okay, so is this clear? This will create a floating text that's intended, let's just read it like this. So create a floating text that's intended to be added in screen space in a canvas layer, but that gets positioned and sized according to a camera. When text is in the world itself, you almost certainly want to use this function. E.g. a plus 5G label appears when buying an item. Been working on Skeleseller for a while now. Have you thought about what might be next after release and a break from game dev? It's hard to see beyond release because I feel like there are enough barriers before that. There's Next Fest before release, and then there's like prep for launch, and then there's the actual launch, and then there's some amount of support for Skeleseller, and then there's thinking about the future. I like game dev. I have an idea for another game I'd want to do, although I don't think it would do very well. So much of it is based on how does launch go. It's Interstellar, and there's Skeleseller too, yeah. It's very hard for me to figure out how well will the game do given everything that exists now. Like, we just have a demo. We have my stream. I made some YouTube shorts, but otherwise, there's no real marketing yet. And I have some plans for this, but even if I go almost full throttle on marketing, it's probably not going to compare to Steam just pushing the game if the game is good. So we're getting kind of like a drip feed of wish lists right now. And I read a bunch of advice online last night that said things like, hey, you shouldn't over-index on wish lists. Like, yeah, they help. And yeah, they're probably a metric for whether your game is good. But I keep asking myself this question, What would make Skeleseller do well if it's not already doing well? Something like that. Like, let's say I had made Minecraft and then I put this demo online. Would it have gotten like 1 million people playing it already? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. All right. So I commented this. This tweens in physicians. Oh, yeah. This. I forgot. This is probably not a good idea. Can we always do this? Just change floating text in one spot. What AIs do I use while coding? I just use Copilot. And welcome in, Big Red. What's your next game idea, if you don't mind sharing? So the idea is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. It'd be like a single player puzzle / adventure kind of game. I don't think it would do well based on a bunch of things. And I only have some like vague ideas for how I'd populate the game with content. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to make. Okay, so can we change this to just do that and that? And if this always looks good, then we don't need to do this part here, which would delete 2 lines of code. So let's go try that. Technically, well, I only need to test the battles. So if the battles look fine, then I think we're okay. This looks fine right now, but what happens when we have a bunch of battlers? So toggle invincibility, send them all into here. Any oddities with this? Yes. They're now showing up beneath the enemies or beneath the adventurers. Well, there are a few different ways we could fix this. One is to just do this. So I guess let's just do that. This used to be 7. Yeah, this is kind of weird. It's a funny concept. Yeah, it was supposed to be kind of a humorous game to begin with. The reasons why I don't think it would really do well is that I think when you hear any sort of like single player narrative puzzle sort of thing, I think that already probably limits a lot of people who might play it. But then one of the ideas I had is that you'd basically be going from like genre to genre of game within. Like they'd all still be puzzles, but imagine if the broken tutorial you're in at first is a platformer, and then you move to like a space shoot 'em up, and then you move to I don't know, a Minecraft style game. So like I need to make a whole bunch of different views in the game. They look like just different games altogether. As a result, the assets wouldn't be probably the highest quality. The other thing, actually, something happened yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago or something. I did not know that there was someone who'd made a Skeleseller video. So check this out. If you go to edit game and then interact and then ratings and reviews. So I found this right here. This person said, it's a chill game, blah, blah, blah. I've played your game live on TikTok. You can find the VOD on YouTube. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let me go check this out. Well, this is from October. So it is now 6.5 months ago. And I watched this person's video and a couple of things really stood out to me. One is the game has changed so much that almost nothing is worthwhile from that video anymore. And 2 is that this person still had like a little bit of fun, I would say. It didn't seem like they were super bored. And it got me thinking, if you look at the October version of Skeleseller, how many people would decide to continue working on the game based on what we had then? And I can give you an example of what this looked like. I'll pull it from my own stream so that it's not I'm not sharing someone else's video. But if we go to playlists and Skeleseller VODs, mute this, and we go to something about 6 months ago. Let's even go a little bit. Okay, this is... Wait. What's going on here? Why did it go from a year ago to 7 months ago? And now it's going up. Hang on a second. These aren't organized. That's weird. Date added. I guess date published is what I want. Now they should be in order. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, my bad. Anyway, 6.5 months ago. Let's go to whenever we like launched the launch day, version 0.3. All right, so let's take a look at what the game looked like back then. All right, so right off the bat, you can see a bunch of changes here. The UI was the default Godot UI. Same thing with tooltips and stuff. Default font. We had, I don't know, nothing looked styled. There were very few things in the game. There were just the shops and the warehouse didn't really work the way it should have. Skill trees were there were just 4 skills that were always present. And presumably I'm going to enter a battle pretty soon. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so here's what the battle looked like. You can see the characters are just static there. They don't have any animations whatsoever. So how many people would continue to work on that game based on what we had? How do you... Basically, it's the age-old question that I have of how do you tell a game is fun? Hey, Tenchi. And hey, Avocado, thanks for the raid. How's everything going? I know you were doing interview prep a while ago. Did you end up getting a job? Just played a game a few days ago, maybe yesterday. The game has a lot of stuff to do that as soon as I get distracted, I can already do something else. And since I have ADHD, I think, pretty sure I have, it keeps me entertained for a while. Ended up playing around 30 minutes. Had to go back to work. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know, you are in a cohort of people that is very, very difficult to accommodate, which is people with ADHD. And I don't say this derogatorily. It is very tough when sort of the nature of the attention deficit changes how you play the game. And I've only, like, I'm not going to diagnose people, right? So it's only the people who tell me that they have ADHD, and then I read through their feedback, and there are typically some things in common with how people with ADHD play the game. So for example, any text that pops up on the screen, they're pretty much not going to read. Although that goes for a lot of people, more than just those with ADHD. Can you apply without getting super anxious? Still working on it. I saw you were doing some co-streaming too. How is that going? And I'm sorry to hear about the anxiety. What are you doing on stream nowadays, I guess? And for those new, I'm working on Skeleseller. We're launching a fully fledged demo in, well, we already have it online, I guess. But for Next Fest is what we're trying to keep prepping things for. And yeah, we're just going to do some work on the game today. I enjoy collaborating with my friends. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's nice that Twitch is officially supporting this stuff too. Obviously they always wanted to support it, but now that tools support it, you can actually co-stream with people. Didn't realize I could already upgrade stuff. If not for the green button showing me I could do stuff. Yeah, that's probably pretty normal. So me not reading any direction the game gives can be blamed on something else. It can be blamed on a few things, and even if it couldn't be, it's fine to not read stuff. I think the way I kind of look at this is it's a combination of it's a game, people want to have fun. Actually, I think there are a lot of factors for this, like reasons people don't read stuff necessarily. Like games are supposed to be fun. Modern game design is supposed to get you back on track. Any games or software that has too much text is going to train you that the text isn't valuable. And there was another thing here. I don't remember. Yeah, anyway, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily your fault, but it does make it tough because it means that we have to pretty much count on any bit of text not being read. And I've watched enough people playing the game to realize that that's generally the case. I've returned. What did I miss? We got the text stuff done. Oh, I didn't test the final bit of that though. Let's go test the final bit, which is just this code that I added in here. And I should probably write this is just for battle text. So we do this. Yeah. You're really using two of them keypads? I mean, this forms one keyboard. Without both of these, I wouldn't be able to type half of the things I could type. But yes, I am. All right, take care, Avocado. Thank you for the raid. Hope you have a good one. For me, it's more like I'm so focused on doing the next thing or getting to the next screen, I sometimes click skip implicitly. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's part of it too, especially in a game with a lot of goals. It's probably easier reading in this economy. I don't read text 9 times out of 10. Yeah. So the 2 megabytes I just updated should be the fixes right now. So that is probably this thing. I'm guessing when you played, you did not have movable battle windows. That's mostly what you just downloaded. So now you can minimize battle windows. You can move them around. And if you have multiple open at once, you can shift click these things and minimize all of them at once or dock all of them at once. So I prefer to have a quest screen I can go back to. Yeah, and this is what I say about modern game design. In very old games, there was no text log. There was no way to go find out what you were supposed to do again. You were actually expected to take notes in real life for a lot of these games. That's just not a common thing anymore. And it's just generally expected that if you lose track of what you're doing, it's the game's responsibility to solve. Yeah, I did kind of test this and then not really paid attention to it. And actually, this isn't even how we test this. This is how we test this. Okay, so we're just looking to see if any z-index things are wrong here. They shouldn't be. Should be exactly what it used to be. Yeah, everything's looking fine. The games or the internet? Really the games, because how many people are going to get stuck and then turn to the internet when it's like a normal level of being stuck? Like, oh, I forgot what the controls are. Some people probably will go to the internet, but other people are... Oh, that was the final thing that I was going to write here. Yeah, which is that you have a ton of games you can play, and they're not all that expensive anymore. Basically, there's no reason to stick with one game if you don't understand things. So, like, if you're looking to have fun and you play game A and B and C and you don't like them, then move on to games D, E, and F and try those. Yeah, this is the big thing. I still kind of assert that at least back in the early console eras, games cost enough and there weren't that many good ones that it wasn't like you were playing a new game every single day. Maybe if you were like made of money, and even then, I guess you'd have to find a bunch of games boring. I just feel like not only has game design changed, but we as gamers have changed over the last 30 years to expect different things. Shaming all of your Steam libraries, yeah. Yeah. So that all leads to people not reading stuff. And that means that as a game designer, you have more to do. And really, there's the adage in writing that says show, don't tell. Like, don't say this character is frustrated. This character wants this thing to happen. It's like, you know, oh, they scratched their face in an agitated way and they were tapping their foot or something. Like, show that stuff. And I think it's the same with teaching someone how to use a game. Don't just be like, oh, you can click this button to do X. And yeah, it's one of the things I'm realizing now that what we have in the game is not sufficient. I've looked over this a bunch of times. I'm looking over it one final time. Yeah, I think it's looking good. Yeah, Blue Wizard needs food badly. What are we gonna write for this? Render floating text in screen space. It's still positioned and sized according to the camera. So but by putting it in screen space, it never has to be upscaled. meaning it won't ever be blurry. I should probably write that in this comment, huh? Note, by putting text in screen space, it means it will never have to be upscaled, so it will never be blurry. Cool. Is that the Super Metroid game design approach? So I think Super Metroid did a pretty good job with that. But I've talked about this before, specifically with Super Metroid. I think most modern gamers wouldn't like the game with no help or hints. And I've seen modern gamers play the game, and I've seen the frustrations that form. And it's kind of sad. A lot of people would consider Super Metroid to be a very good game. Certainly a very good game for the time, but still a lot of people would consider it to be a good game. And as time goes on, my opinion of the game drops a bit because game design progresses, but obviously the game is trapped in time. It's not like it's getting updates or something. And I just wonder if that game were made today, like Super Metroid, ignoring graphical updates or music updates or anything, just what if they just changed some of the gameplay a little bit just to make it more modern? What would it look like? And I think it would be things like there'd be some other way of nudging you or indicating things, ways that if you missed all of the signs, you'd still be able to see them somehow. Can you imagine original Metroid released today? Energy tanks hidden in random squares you have to shoot. Randomly, some walls are not walls at all. You have a gamer riot. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what Super Metroid tried to solve with the X-ray beam or X-ray scope, whatever it's called. But that wasn't fun gameplay, right? In every single room you're ever in, scan the entirety of the room. Like it's something you'd expect to just be automatic. And I've read some really weird takes online. I was on Blue Sky and someone said something along the lines of like, all these obscure things in games made you appreciate the game more. And maybe for that one person they did. I'd have to find this skeet to figure out what it is they were actually saying. But yeah, maybe for that one person. But I think for the general populace, it's like people don't want to be stuck in a game. You have 4 choices at the beginning of the game. Only one is correct. 4 choices being what? Because I mean, you could explore the world and find where things are and probably still have fun doing that. I know you eventually can only go into, some of the dungeons and maybe only one of them actually lets you make some progress. True, but you don't have a sword? Oh, you're saying you pretty much have to get the sword first? Yeah. I wonder, those games were made in an era where you were intended to read the instruction book, I think. So I wonder if the instruction book told you that, hey, you should go into the cave. All right, so this is all done. This is done. And now this is the last thing that I wanted to do here. Which is maybe worth it and maybe not. I'm gonna save this for later, actually. But yeah, I think this should be removed. Not even consider removing. Remove color from the text parameters and just use BB code. Feedback loops, you die because you didn't have a weapon? Yeah. Okay, I'm curious now. Legend of Zelda instruction book. All right, I found it. I don't know if I can share this. Wow. Oh man, so cool. Yeah, anyway, there's something on page 19 of the booklet that says, first off, use the sword. Link can use this sword to inflict damage on almost all of the enemy. Huh, that's weird. They have a typo in the instruction book. Use button A for the sword. I don't know if they mentioned how to get this because I'm like super fast scanning through this. Ah, here it is. Yeah, it says, okay, you've started the game. Now, first of all, look at the top left of the main screen. You see a little map. You can use this, etc. So far, so good. Use a cross button. Wait, no, maybe they don't mention the thing about the sword. Like I said, scanning this very quickly. All right, anyway, I don't know much of that. There are no sword runs, of course. Oh yeah. I think any sort of like modern competitive runs of things, especially speed runs, are techniques that game designers never really intended. Okay, so this is done. Think the battle map changes may be the most important, especially upgrading. All right, this is gonna be quite a trip. Because I have these graphics somewhere. Where are they? Where'd I put these? Oh, maybe they're in here already? Where did I put these? Ah, here they are. Graphics are here, although we're missing the fully formed paths. I think I was wrong about that. Let me go download these first. I probably already had them at some point. All right, cool. Downloaded. Still haven't beaten the original Legends of Zelda. I haven't watched people play Legend of Zelda for the first time. I've watched them play practically every other Zelda game for the first time because I like watching some people play the more modern ones. I also really like watching people play A Link to the Past. And it is interesting where people struggle and especially what they think to try to solve the next puzzle in the game. Because the game has little hints, but sometimes it's not obvious. And I don't know how some people solve some of these things. Like you'd have to talk to NPCs and figure out what they all have to say. Yeah. Okay, so let's go take a look at this. We now have in the downloads folder map stuff. Map stuff has all of these things. So the partially completed paths and the split out locations, which probably need to go in a very, very specific part of the map. Yeah, so we would render just this. This is a pretty beefy change for me to do, but I think it's a nice usability thing. So again, to show what we have right now, here's the battle map. At every given time, so like I can only go to the forest right now. At every given time, I can still see the other locations. So like this volcano is rendering. What I want to do is render it grayscale to indicate like you have not unlocked this yet. Also, you can only click this little node here in order to select the forest. You cannot click the forest itself. So I think it'd be nice to allow you to select the forest by just clicking this. And then the final thing is that in order to upgrade, you have to click the upgrade button at the bottom. Let me rescale this. You have to click the upgrade button at the bottom. It'd be nice if you could just see like you can purchase this and there's like a floating arrow or something. So I think those are the main changes. Darken areas you haven't unlocked. Allow clicking the entire area. And what was the other one? Maybe, oh yeah, show that you can upgrade a location. Show that you can upgrade the portal by clicking, by rendering something on the next location. And then change the canyon tip if we do this. Okay, so this is battle map changes. Show a floating price tag on the next location using the text in screen space but positioned in camera space code. That would make it more obvious that you can buy what you can buy. If we do this, change the camera tip. Yeah, canyon tip. All right. Well, let's get to it. So here is, where's the actual map itself? Instance map panel. Instance map, here it is. Yeah, and everything is inside of here so far. So instead of the map sprite just being the entire thing, We now have split out nodes for everything. Yeah. This is gonna be a little tough. Not because of the assets or anything, just because there's a lot of work to do here. Okay, so where do we put this? Instance prep, I believe, or battle map? Path 5. These were all just called path 2, for example. All right, let's copy everything in there then. And what about map background? Yeah, pre-paths, I see. All right, we got a lot of graphics now. All right. Let's get to it. What is map border? 9 patch rect? Is this even used? I don't think map border is ever used. No, it isn't. Does it have a reason to exist? I don't think so. Fewer good games, so everyone played the same ones and it's easy to share. Yeah. Yeah, it was a very different time for gaming. Something I think about is World of Warcraft has been out for like 20 years or 21 years or something at this point. And they recently did something called Season of Discovery. World of Warcraft at its peak had whatever, like 9 million players. So tons of people played it. It had a lot of cultural penetration. They made Season of Discovery and it had this concept of runes that you could find. And the idea was that as a community, they'd be hidden secrets. So the community would have to come together and find them. But the community is big enough where no rune lasted for longer than like, I think 1 to 2 days as a secret. As an idea of a community-wide puzzle, it's kind of cool, right? Like how many times can you do that? But in the game, these are just puzzles. It happens to be that the community solved them. But I myself tried solving one of these and it was basically impossible. Like you need to explore the edges of the world. There was some like invisible person I needed to talk to. I didn't know they were invisible. They only are, yeah, it's just, it's like if you'd had this community-wide puzzle 20 years ago, people probably would have shared this by word of mouth. But now there's just some like guide on the internet and you just go look at that guide and you follow the guide and it's just a totally different way of playing games. And I think that's what most people would steer toward. I mentioned watching a lot of people on Twitch playing things like Zelda games for the first time or Mario games for the first time. And what I tend to look for is a rule they have on their own stream of no backseating. Otherwise, I feel like they get stuck in a game and they're like, oh, how do I solve this? Someone tells them, then they move on. Or there's some like very overactive fan of the game who's there. Like when I watch people play Undertale, a lot of times they're like, I can't wait till they get to this point. Oh, you got to go here and then do this. And then it's like, let them figure it out for themselves. But yeah, some people don't like playing that way. The locked tank room lasted like a week. Yeah. I didn't want to mention that. But yeah, the only ones that did last longer were ones that had bugs behind trying to find them. So basically, like the whole community found everything as fast as possible. And as I mentioned, like if this were 40 years ago, you wouldn't be able to search the internet. And then 20 years ago, you would be able to, but some people probably wouldn't have searched it. And nowadays, like most people are probably just going to look it up. Can't imagine playing anything but a roguelike on stream. Oh, because of the spoilers and stuff? I think I've seen people take some pretty extreme measures. I remember in one case, there was an allow listed set of chatters and only they could talk because they were trusted people. That was in someone's very intense Undertale stream. And I actually appreciated that. I thought that was nice. In other streams, I've just seen moderators like immediately time someone out for sharing anything. And in other streams, they just have the, what's it called? What is this called? The honor system. That's what it's called. Yeah. Like, hey, just don't do this thing. There's no real controls in place other than that. Emote only chat. They'll find a way to spoil it. They'll say they'll have a little elf and then a sword and then an upper left arrow and a cave. You're like, oh, I gotta time out this person now. Yeah, so I did not look into this, but map border. Is this used anywhere? No. And it was set to invisible. Okay, so we can get rid of that. It might be good to have this map spread around. Why is this set the way that it is? Let's say instance map. Map border. No, this was access's unique name, but didn't need to be, I guess. And yeah, so I think we'll take out the unique name part. And let's duplicate this. And then let's give the other one the map sprite, map background. All right, so check it out. So now here's the difference. We still have the map positioned exactly the same way, but now we're going to dynamically add in all of these nodes. Yeah. Randomizers help with that too. Yeah, although even with randomizers, I think the sort of knowledge checks in randomizer games like Zelda is where are there the most chess, and then what is the constraint hierarchy? Like I need the bow to go here, and I need the boomerang to go here, and I need bombs to go there, such that when you unlock bombs, you need to understand what that did for you. So I think those things can kind of still be spoiled, but you know, presumably no one's actually jumping right to a randomizer. They probably played the base game first. Okay, so now we would populate this with the nodes themselves. We have these points, and the points are going to be technically always clickable, right? There's a circle here, man. I'm going to need to change a lot of this. This is just a circle so that it's clickable. Is that right? Oh, this one in particular is a fishing map marker. There are also just regular map markers, right? But they all inherit from the same thing. Yeah, map marker. Hey, Smoo. Time to stop coding and start watching other people code for a change. How long are you on vacation for? Okay, so in this case, we want to show every node, but darkened at first. So do we also want to show... Oh, did I launch this through there? I did. Do we also want to show the nodes that we have? Let me take a picture of this so I don't lose this. And I might actually put this in GIMP. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we show the canyon, but it's dark. And then maybe we still show the stone node. Maybe that's not even needed. Yeah, what's the point of that? We just need a way of selecting it. It's going to be the whole node now. So I guess it could just be a flag holder, at which point I guess the flag and the stone thing could just be together. Alternatively, what if we had a flag without the little stone thing? Map flags. Do we have a flag scene? Waving flag. Where did I just put that? There it is. Okay, so what if we put this? We need to scale this a bit. 2 by 2. Oh, this isn't the same waving flag. What are map flags? Ah, there it is, map flag. Okay, so what if we just put this in like a random spot, like there? I don't think it would look as good. So I think we should still have these inside the stone things. Yeah, I think that would look nice. Oh, for 10 days? When are you releasing the next update? We're releasing updates every, few days, basically. So the last update was released yesterday. But the game's doing well. I am making some of the bigger quality of life changes, as is Kevin. So one of the last big things is what Kevin worked on is the ability to move battle windows around and minimize them. So if you have an ultra wide monitor now, you'd be able to put all your battles, let's say, on the side of the window. Whoops. You put all your battles on the side of the window if you want to. So like over here, let's say, and maybe minimize one of them. And yeah, this is pretty nice. So now you'd be able to actually see your town, whereas before they were always just there at the bottom. So I could do something like this. And then when I want to see all the battles, maximize them, move them around. So yeah, this is cool. We just did something where text is no longer blurry when you zoom in or out. That wasn't super important, but that plays into this next thing that I want to do, which is clean up the battle map a little bit. So yeah, all in all, things have been going well. I'm just getting the lay of the land here. So for this, I don't think we should show the stone panels until you've unlocked the location. And then I think the flags should go into those stone panels. All right, let's start with just any one of these things. So let's go get the canyon. Where is that? There it is, canyon. Okay, so let's find canyon over here. Drag this over here. We're gonna put that roughly there. I want to see what happens when we grayscale this, though. What does it look like? How do we even do this? I guess that kind of works. Yeah, that kind of works, right? But there's some transparency. We probably need to get rid of that. Like that 1 pixel there. I mean, I can fix that myself. Yeah, I'll write that down. Get rid of any transparent pixels, e.g. in the canyon. Should be pretty easy to spot them because you could just make this whole thing turn black and then they'll show up very obviously. So like there's one, there's some. I can fix that myself, like I said. So yeah, I'm thinking we do something like this. Oh, or you know what else we could do? No, fading it out with the opacity is probably not a good idea. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I think darkening it though is probably better. I don't know. What do people like better? Let's get option 1 is here. This is darkening it, and option 2 is here. So darker or more transparent, left or right. And this is to show that you haven't unlocked it. When you've unlocked it, it's going to look just full brightness and full opacity. Left. Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward left. Left, but less dark. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's set this to this and this. All right, so we're going to need to position all these at some point. These are map points. And this did something certain that made it a fishing pond marker. Oh, because it had a certain tooltip. Now the whole point's going to have that tooltip. Okay, I see. Left, right looks almost grayed out to me. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so I want to put all these in here. This is going to be a little bit tough. Let's just start with 2 of them, I guess. Oh, the fishing pond is special here, isn't it? Because it's always at full opacity, but it's not always clickable. And how do we render it as clickable in the game right now? We put a flag there. Drat. Oh, I'm just really dragging my feet on this because I'm not sure what's best, and I think we're going to run into a lot of problems. But hey, that's how starting some of these tasks ends up going. So we got to add in the town as well. Let's go do all that. Let's get battle map here. Town pond. Okay, now ideally we can position these by just doing something like this. And yeah, putting it exactly on top of the old one. There. And then same thing with the canyon. That way the paths, we actually have to do this because otherwise the paths won't align. There. Split the pond from the rest of the town and not show it. Yeah, I think eventually we're probably going to want the town to be a representation of the town and not in like a replica of the town. So I don't know if we're going to want the pond to be what's hidden. Although maybe. And cutting that out should be easy enough for me to do too if I want to. All right, so we got 2 of these nodes. Let's start with just that maybe. But these are named after which, they're named after which thing they correspond to in terms of instance. Let's delete that. In terms of instance ID. All right, so what is this fishing map marker? Now it's going to be the whole thing that's clickable. So all of these should probably have a graphic, a collider, and then a node we can render. Welcome back, Mystical Cell. Happy 5/6 of the year. Thank you for resubbing. Yeah, I gotta make a new point for this stuff. Man. Oh, and then also, I probably shouldn't be making these sprites. I should probably make them texture rectangles. Although all of them are sprites right now. I wonder if that matters. Huh. Is the word pond related to pondering? I don't know. Yeah, these were controls. And they were the things that were clickable. I feel like they should still be clickable. Okay. Yeah, let's go change this then. Map marker. So this is going to be changed into a texture rectangle. And underneath it is going to... Oh, underneath it won't be anything else. Oh, that's the thing about having a collider or not, right? You can't make special colliders for this. Okay, let's stick with a sprite then. Oh, God. All right, sprite 2D. And let's add in a clickable area. Clickable. Do I not have a... I guess I don't have a specific scene for that. It's just a collision shape. But the thing is, I might want... Okay, let's delete this. Clickable area. Yeah, so this is just an area 2D with a rectangle underneath. All right, so area 2D with a rectangle underneath. And then give this the script clickable area. If they're controls, we can make them have a mask. How do we do that? I say as I delete everything. Godot control mask. You need to do it in code. I think it's just better to have them as sprites then. I don't even think you need to look this up. The reason I say that is because our town map is already just using sprites and clickable areas. So I think having this map do the same thing would be fine. But yeah, I'm not sure. And encapsulating it all in one spot anyway should make it pretty easy to change. All right, should we give this a graphic from the get-go? Maybe do something like this here. Then this would also need the little stone thing, which I guess is just another sprite. We need to go find the stone thing now. Where's that? Oh, and then we got to delete the old map. Delete the old map. Which is called this. Stone, there it is. Stone platform. Okay, we put this somewhere. And then the flag goes inside of this thing. So this is going to be, what do we call this? Stone platform. And then we add in a flag. And we put this thing right there. Yeah, that's probably good. Only on buttons. Controls can override has point. We need to check the given point against the underlying texture. Yeah, I think using sprites then is the right call, which is good because it's the easiest call. Rectangle. All right, so we position this somewhere, blah, doesn't matter. This is going to get overridden. So this is a map marker, and all of this is fine. We put it in an instance map. So I guess delete these things, although the positions are going to matter. Ugh. Okay, let's make a battle map marker. I don't know why it opened VS Code. Then make this editable. Well, this one in particular doesn't actually need to be. But we need the sprite here to be correct, which is the canyon. And then we position this where the other canyon is, and it can track its own stuff. Yeah, there. So now we can delete this one. And we also need to modify its collision shape, which if I add in another battle map marker, it's going to make... Whoops. Why does it keep opening VS Code? It's going to modify both of these, I believe. Yeah. So what I need to do is make this unique. Except for making it unique here doesn't actually do it, right? It's got to be local to scene. I think that does it. And now if I modify this, it only modifies one? Yeah. No. It's only for texture buttons. Wow. Okay. Well, I can make it unique over here. That would work. Make unique. So then the local to scene thing probably doesn't really matter, does it? No. Okay. So we make this clickable, something like that. I don't know. Just the general shape of this. We don't want it to be too close to the forest. So there's pretty good. We might also want this to have an outline. I should probably mess around with that. See if we should have an outline or if it even looks good for this. Hey, Numitus. Seems to be a bit of shift in UI when you purchase a perk. Like it moves a little. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's causing that yet. As in, I know that buttons appear or something gets resized, but I'm not sure how we're supposed to fix it. Okay, then the town pond. So let's go instantiate another one of these. This is going to be the fishing map marker. We ignore that it keeps opening VS Code. Click this, move this down here, give this the right graphic. Then put it in the right spot. There we go. Then delete this. Yeah, I thought it might have to do with the highlight dot too. Wasn't too sure though. All right, then we expand this and modify its collision shape, which we also need to make unique. Although nothing else probably uses the exact same one. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then we got to move the platforms and everything too. What we could do is we could make sub scenes out of all of these. We could have like a canyon map marker scene and not need to do things this way, but I don't really think it makes too much of a difference. But like I said, I want to get like a couple of these working. So I want to start with this. There is a problem here though. These are map markers, not pond points. So I guess we call this, I gotta go delete all of these things. Can we just rename them for now? Old, and just ignore the rest. Fishing pond point. Canyon point. So we don't have the forest. Yeah, I guess we'll need the forest as well. All right, let's go add in the forest then. Editable. All right, where's the forest? Forest 1 and Forest 2. Forest 1. Put this at exactly the right coordinates. Cool. Then we delete the... No, we don't need to delete anything. And then just change its collision shape. Put it like there. I don't know. Actually, if we just hide this, we should be able to see. No, we can't see because I have something right behind it. Oh, and the paths. Oh my God. You need to render the paths to the next location only if they've been opened. All right, so I put a few of these down. Let's start with this. This is certainly going to break everything because it's going to try to find points that are the wrong types now or something. We also need some concept of being able to mark this as not being unlocked. So map marker itself will change its self-modulate to be something like that. Self-modulate will be like 80, 80, 80, yeah. Map marker. Public void set is unlocked. Pool is unlocked. This is probably need to be virtual and we need to do something different for the fishing pond. But for now, let's just self-modulate. If it's unlocked, then it's white. Otherwise, it's color.from HTML. Oh, nice. That's probably just a default built-in color. I don't care right now. All right, and then these start as not being unlocked. And when we load from a save file, we need to make sure this works. Make sure loading from a save file works. All right, so set is unlocked, false. Let's just try running this. It's gonna break. There's no way that this all just works. Yeah. So map marker itself inherits from control and now needs to inherit from sprite 2D. Does that break anything in here? Yes, it does, of course. Oh boy, because this is all in the clickable area now. What did on GUI input get used for? Just for clicking? Well, thankfully, this shouldn't be too hard, right? What else do we use this for? Use press cursor and play sound hover. And on mouse exit, use normal cursor. Yeah, I think all this is built into clickable area. Nope, it isn't at all. What made me think it is? Do we not do this already? I guess we don't. When you... Ooh, something's broken. Oh yeah, of course it's going to be broken. Can I go into this? No. Drat. Yeah, I don't think we can hover over NPCs like that. So we're going to have to do this. Yeah. Make it so that the mouse changes and the hover sound is played from clickable area. This will help for signs and NPCs as well. Didn't we do this? I could have sworn we did this. Let me open up an old version of the game. Game out. Oh, right. I could just do this. I keep forgetting that. So when you hover over a sign, yeah, it changes this. Does it make a sound? No. But it does change the cursor. How does it change the cursor? Portal. Portal has a clickable area. Huh. Nothing in that makes it change the cursor. What? Well, if I had this running through VS Code, I could just set a breakpoint on when we change the cursor. So maybe that's what I should do eventually. Although we could also potentially just look for it, use normal cursor. Where's the Press cursor, I guess this one. Item display, map marker, ground item source. Oh, outline parent on hover does it. I see. I see. All right, so outline parent on hover changes the mouse cursor already. All right, let's not worry about that then. Yeah, just get rid of this. Who cares? We'll figure that out later. So we need the clickable area. Clickable area. Hopefully we named that correctly. Of course not. Clickable area. Make it unique. We're going to need this other stuff to be unique too. All right, so we get this. This has on mouse entered for no real reason right now. So I'm just going to delete this stuff. And then it has a GUI input that we're going to change to what? Pressed? Clicked? Clicked. Plus equal, what are we doing here? We're just invoking clicked. Okay, let's just invoke clicked then. And then go delete GUI input. Oh God, this is add to control. Tooltip on parent. We don't have a just add to anything? Nope. And why does this need to be a control specifically? I think for no particular reason. I think this could just be a node. Yeah, what if we made it a node? What does that do for us? This used to only work with controls? I see. So we should change this to add to node. Okay, let's try this out. I still expect this to break because we're using some of the old style and some of the new style of map markers, but it might make it a little bit farther. Yeah, so now this point is not fetched because get map marker fails. Because it's looking for the word point. I think the word point is not the problem here. Oh wait, no, it actually is because this is not named correctly. This should be forest point. Okay, that was a minor oversight. This is not what I expected to have go wrong there. I do expect something to go wrong, just not that. Oh, would you look at that? Tooltip on parent does require the parent to be a control. or, or a collision object, I guess. So we just need to add this to the right location in here. So signpost has this already. We can just do whatever signpost did, right? Signpost doesn't have anything. When you hover over a signpost, nothing happens. Is that right? Need to add it to the clickable area. Yeah. Load game. No, it definitely pops something up. Where do we add that then? Tooltip. Oh, we hard code it into mouse entered and mouse exited? It's not what I would have expected. I mean, it works. It's not great. Does clickable area even expose that? No. But area 2D does, I believe. So we could do it that way if we wanted to. Or we could stop calling add to node here. Or we could add it to the clickable area. Clickable area. Okay, let's try that. There's going to be pretty slow progress. It'll probably take another like couple hours to finish all this stuff. I'm okay with that. All right, so now what's the problem with this? Map sprite. Map sprite should still exist. It does, but it's no longer found by a unique path. Did I just move that? I think I moved that. Yeah, there. All right, so this is map sprite old. This is map sprite new. Oh, it actually loaded. Wow, look at that. This looks wild, neat. This is actually another way we could do this. I don't know what that's doing up there. What is that doing up there? Who are you? Canyon, forest, fishing pond. Huh, that's weird. What's that doing up there then? Maybe it's something that gets added through code? Yeah, probably. Yeah, anyway, I know earlier I asked, what do people prefer? Do they prefer the darkened way or the transparent way? And people said darkened. But another way is just to have nothing show up. I don't think that'd be a good idea, though. Yeah, I think seeing the darkened areas is better than just empty space. So we don't have a way of clicking these things. And I'm not sure why that's failing. Because map marker has this. When you click the clickable area, invoke clicked, which is then listened to by this. Let's put a breakpoint there. So when I click the forest. Yeah, so we might have this set to ignore mouse input. And we might have some other problem going on. In fact, let's just click, let's do this. Close out of this. Turn off the music. Go back over to here. Click this. And then in Godot, it'll tell us what we clicked. Sub viewport container. It's definitely not what I expect. This is map panel control. What is the mouse thing set to for this? Oh, this does not have a mouse thing. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Because this is all inside of instance map panel control sub viewport container. Where's that? This is not right either. It's in here. Yeah, this. Oh, man. All right, what is mouse set to? Pass, propagate up. And then the viewport gets the instance map. I probably need to do something like what I did over here. No, maybe not. We can click things in the town, so that's not a problem. Does it have mouse picking? Handle input locally. It's off. What's the documentation for this? If true, this viewport will mark incoming input events as handled by itself. I don't know. What do we have it set to over here? It's off. Okay, so then we probably don't need to do anything here. This does have object picking on, though, whereas this one presumably doesn't. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Let's just fix this. Well, it might be fixing it, but now I can't tell because I don't have my breakpoints getting hit because it's inside Godot right now. Oh, nice. It looks like it's working. Somehow we have hovers working now. Can I select it? Oh, I can. Nice. Okay, yeah, it is working. All right, so that's all we had to do for that. Well, we're moving forward. It isn't working. It's moving at a snail's pace right now. A snail on a glacier. I think there's a problem with the path here too. Hmm. All right, well, when a location is unlocked, we need to make it look like it's unlocked. So let's go do that next. Unlocked instance IDs dot add. All right, so there's load from save data that does this. Create route if unlocked. Create route. This gets the next map point, doesn't it? It doesn't. It's just creating the route. Hey, Thomas. Happy Wednesday. And hey, Maybach. Doing pretty well. I'm already happy with the progress so far, and I'm pretty confident we'll get this done by the end of today that I'm working on. We're trying to make the map more usable. I wonder how much of an impact all of these things will have. I have noticed that as you address these little technical and usability issues, that people start shifting their feedback elsewhere. And ideally, if you address enough of it, it keeps people in the game and just having fun. Yeah, the mountain was already in the game, but we are now trying to work on like slowly populating the map. Excuse me. So we'll darken these areas, and then when you unlock them, they'll lighten up. What did we used to do? We used to show the flag. So I guess let's go figure out where we do that. Here it is. Set. Oh no, that's set outline. We need to know when we set the map. It's here. Yeah. Yeah. So then we just need to get the next instance ID. So this is creating a route to the destination, right? I think so. Yeah, I think so. So this is like destination instance ID. All right, so now we need to get the node from here. Just type AAA for a second. I want to see, where do we do that? Get point. Get map marker. There it is. Okay, so get map marker. Set is unlocked. True. Yeah, let's try that. Hey, Worka. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Aha, we did it. Okay, so as soon as I click this, it should make the canyon look correct. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I know it added in all of the paths. That's something that I'll need to work on later. I think also path Z index needs to change. I think paths are rendering on top of the locations. That's easy to fix. But I don't even want to look into that right now. I want to continue looking at the rest of this stuff. Okay, so the flag is purely going to be cosmetic now. So we need to position it just somewhere that makes sense. And we could just use the exact same positioning we had before. So here it'll be off to the right. So let's go do that. Instance map. We get the stone platform. That's not the one I wanted. This one. And we move this over here. Wait, is it moving it everywhere? No, it isn't. And it doesn't need to be exact. I just want to make sure it's in that rough cluster because I trust Quickie Joe's sense of aesthetic over mine. Yeah. Now, if we're going to do this, then map flags doesn't need to exist anymore. So I think we can just delete this entire thing. Do we use it anywhere else? Set outline visible. Oh, right. All right, let's not worry about that for right now. All right, to do, we still need to outline the right flag. Anywhere else that we use this, though, that's it. All right. Let's relaunch this. So now we'll only have one flag for each of these. It'll be in the wrong location for everything other than the forest. Or maybe the canyon will look fine too. I don't remember. No, it's even wrong in the forest. Why? Did I forget to save? I did. All right, let's just do this through Godot then. So when I make changes through Godot, you can actually see the changes in real time. So like this flag is here. If I were to just move it now, let's say we take this and I just move it into the forest, you can see it change right there. So by doing this, I can now see exactly where I'm positioning this stuff. So this flag used to go to the left of the pond and below the potion shop. So left of the pond, below the potion shop. Like right there. Okay, the canyon one was probably there. No, it wasn't. It was to the right of those cacti and to the left of the stone. Cool. Okay, that means we can probably change these collision shapes and make this a little bit bigger. Because I should probably include the, oh God. I hope this doesn't keep happening. I should probably include this. There we go. Yeah, not bad. And if we put an outline on here, it'll be obvious when you're hovering over it. Maybe it's worth doing that before I keep moving on. Yeah. Okay, so we have the forest selected. If I do this, we can select the canyon and forest. We cannot select the town yet. The town is a special case. That's probably what we should work on next. Get the town to work. It should probably only show the flag and the outline when you've unlocked the fishing pond. Oh, maybe we could do something clever here. But it should always show at the right darkness, I guess. Maybe we just add a fishing pond node that is just the collision area. No, we wouldn't be able to do that. It has to have special logic. Because you shouldn't even see a tooltip on this until you've unlocked it. Shouldn't show a tooltip until you've unlocked this. Like the forest shows something, the canyon shows something, the fishing pond does not show something. I haven't technically unlocked it yet. So if we do unlock it, now hovering over it should show something. It says will set later. That's not right. Yeah, I must be saving the tooltip incorrectly. Fishing map marker. Tooltip. It's getting it from the node. That's not good. Why do we even do this? Why don't we just save this all? All right, we have the tooltip right here. Tooltip on parent, add to node. And this returns the tooltip on parent. Huh, weird. Why don't I do this? What? It's even public. I don't understand why we didn't just do this. But maybe I'm about to find out why. Okay, let's save this, and that way we have the fishing pond build. Now I don't need to do that again, because that's 2 clicks, whereas clicking load game is 1 click and 2 presses of the escape key. No, actually I guess 1 press. All right, how's this? All right, cool, we got that. That's looking good. Oh, the tooltips show up differently from how they used to. Because the tooltip used to only be on this tiny bit right here, but now it's on the entire thing. So maybe we should lock the tooltip to a certain part of the screen. I don't know. I guess I'll just write it as a note for right now. Tooltip used to only show when you hovered over the stone platform. So it would never really block the location graphic. Now it shows when you hover over any part of the clickable area. Is it selecting the area when I do this? No, it isn't. Okay. So this is working pretty well. We can start a battle at the right location. Yeah. And I can edit this to be the forest. Oh my God, it's already so much more usable. It's nice to see these things come together. Yeah, like I said, it used to be you had to click this little stone thing here, and it was like a little bit of area outside of that. So maybe it was an extra 20%, but still, it was this like tiny square. And now you can just click the whole location. So the next thing I think we need to work on is getting the outlines to work because it's going to break the scene again. Line parent on hover, this, yeah, this. Yeah, I think this is going to be nice. And if this all works pretty well, we could also add in the upgrade portal. It could be in the map itself. And if we do that, then we can put the start battle button back on the left side, which is where I think people would want it to be. Although I guess it doesn't really matter where it is necessarily, but I think I'd prefer it on the left if we're not going to have any other buttons in here. So I guess I should write that down too. If we got rid of the upgrade portal button, then perhaps we can put start battle back on the left side. Or actually, what if we can get rid of this bottom area altogether somehow? I'm not sure. Hey, Light Fury. Music is fantastic. I've been playing the demo for the last 30 minutes. It's pretty fun. Well, thank you. I'm glad. And thanks for dropping in. We don't have any other buttons. We could overlap start battle with the map. Yeah, I think that would be really good. We could even put the... Oh, I wanted to play the music. I didn't actually play this, did I? I just showed people a bunch of notes. Like I said, I was working on the music yesterday. I'll play this in a sec. And you can tell me if it's improved or has gotten worse. You can put the... We could even get rid of the dedicated area beneath the map and put start battle over the map. This is related to... Oh, Pepsio, thanks for subbing. Welcome in. This is related to that 2-line text issue that I talked about, which I don't even know where I wrote. Huh. I don't know where that is. Map text? Here it is. Yeah, this is related to this issue. Okay, music. Check this out. So this is, how much do I have? I have about 50 seconds. This is not totally polished yet, but I think I'm happy with the instrumentation, although I probably need to change some registers a bit. But anyway, take a look at this. Let me turn off my mic. All right, so you can hear that this like clarinet thing just kind of cuts out completely. Where was that? Here. Yeah, I didn't finish this. I don't really like where this is going. Yeah, like this would sound really nice if I actually continued this. And I like the counterpoint. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. And like I mentioned, this is the first track I'm actually using that uses my new synth that I got. And I'm only using it for this one sound here. These, how do I isolate this? I guess let's just click this. But this sound. Does it mean there would be a Skeleseller rap too? No. Probably never going to do that. But yeah, I'm having fun working on this. I think this is coming along. We need to finish up this battle map stuff. So the outline is next. Let's go take a look at that. So let's close out of all of this. I have too much stuff open. Oh, why is this? Why does this have unsaved changes? I don't know if petitioning for the rep is going to help you at all. Assign post. Okay, how does this work? Outline holder needs to point to the sign, which needs to have texture crop on it, probably. Does it inherit from that? No, it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Wait, we don't need texture crop on this though, because there's no other texture here. So I think we can just add in our outline, material, shader, quick load, outline, local to scene. Shader parameters are fine. We could probably make the line width bigger, maybe even bigger than that. Yeah, the rest of this isn't really needed. Okay, so we got that. Now we go instantiate in an outline holder. This holds a reference to that. And then we have an outline parent on hover. And this holds a reference to the outline holder and the clickable area. Okay, let's just try that. If this looks great, then awesome. I have very, very little work to do. But it might not. That's some work to do. I can send you the backing track, Boomer. I can put a tiny amount of time into that tomorrow if you want me to. What is this failing on? Cannot access a disposed object map marker. That is not good. But why is he even trying to do this? Oh God, I think we had a note about this somewhere. There's a scene inheritance and some bug that exists. So we need to be able to set this through code. We intentionally do not assume that any children have been added yet due to this. This comment exists to remind you to use setters instead. Oh, goody. Don't take up your valuable time. Okay, let me write a note about this. I don't know what you're doing with this track, though. I feel like this should be a trade. You tell me what you're doing, and I get you the backing track if I approve. All right, so we probably need to do this the way that Signpost did this. Except for the Signpost didn't do this. Oh, come on. Where do we call this code? Nowhere? What? Okay, that's not what I expected. That's definitely not what I expected. But this is the specific case in which this would be problematic, which I guess would have been the same with NPC. So how do NPCs do this? They do get an outline holder, but for what? To set these things. Why did this not show up? Because we don't set node with shader? So outline parent on hover needs this then. Yeah, we don't assume that any children have been added. And what's this issue? The thing with the, yeah. Ugh. It was the degree I was originally pursuing before switching to software engineering. Oh, cool. But wait, that still doesn't answer my question. What do you want? What do you want to do with the Skeleseller wrap? Ah, you want to pursue a degree in rapping. I see. Yeah, we probably need to do this over here. Okay, but it shouldn't be hard to do. Please don't be hard to do. And do we even need the outline holder after this? Is this ever used anywhere? Oh, it's public. Oh, what is this? Outline shader. This is for destinations. No, this doesn't need to be public for us then. So we don't even need to save this, I believe. We can just say outline holder or outline holder. And then go modify this. Clickable area. So these need to be unique. And then we try running this, and again, just cross our fingers and hope that everything works. I have a few ideas. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll send you this stuff. I have the project. I can just cut things out of it. Hey, Lloyd. Welcome back in. I'm not going to play this again, but I just showed off the new changes I made to the music. The last time you were here and I played this other track, it probably ended like here-ish at 28 seconds, and I added another like 20-something seconds. But yeah, we'll have to wait till another time to hear that again. All right, it's still breaking, which is too bad, and it's the exact same problem. which is trying to get the material on this thing. What do we do? How do we fix this? Because it should be the same thing that we did with NPC over here. And for whatever reason, something's different about it. Oh, this is in a init. Maybe that's why. We don't even have a ready function. But why would that matter? I don't know why that would matter. Let's try this. Something inherits from this. Let's go find out the things that inherit from this and see what they do. They do not have a ready. And battle map marker, do you have a ready function? No, neither thing has a ready function. Okay, so whatever. Oh, but these need to be disposable. Oh God. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't plan for that. Oh no, just rewards container needed to be. Okay. All right, let's move this to a ready function then. So copy all of this, put this here, delete that stuff, I guess. And then delete it from here. All right, whatever. Let's put that up there too. What DAW do I use? I use FL Studio. I've got a DAW command, I think. This is still breaking. Oh, there's no winning, is there? Oh, this one's different. Where's this coming from? Instantiated. There is just no winning, is there? We don't have the tooltip target yet. That's only done in a init. Okay, so then we need to save off the clickable area. I mean, it's not hard to do that. Oh, the clickable area. Okay, let's try again. How's the day been? It's been good. I made some progress on something I thought would be a little bit more annoying. Like, I think I'm pursuing the right priorities now. And what we're working on right this second is, and I could show you this if this will actually work, which it still isn't. And it's still the same bug. Yeah. Anyway, what we're working on right now is getting the battle map to be a little more usable. We have these nodes here. These are the little like stone platforms. And right now, the only clickable area is roughly that. So people have to click this exact spot and they're trying to click anywhere in here. So let's just allow them to click anywhere in there. And then while we're at it, let's also make it so that the map darkens any areas you haven't gotten. So like the volcano or the jungle, they'll look darker when you haven't gotten them. And some other little things that we're trying to improve. Also, what I do ends up being leveraged live. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really done live performance unless it's just on a piano. I've done piano recitals, but yeah, I've never like played a synth live or used any DAW live. And I don't really have that as a goal, to be honest. Like, part of me thinks it could be cool. Yeah. I do kind of wonder what it'd be like if I'd gone into music as my like main gig. Because I think this is gonna sound dumb, but obviously computers is where I ended up. But music was another one, and the dumb part is that comedy could have been another one. Uh, I would have needed to hone all of these skills, right? But with music, I saw a video of two incredibly skilled musicians playing with one another. It was some like they were in a mall or something, and I don't know if it was planned or not, but they ended up playing together and they did a great job. And it's just it's probably like one of the greatest feelings in the world to just play music with other skilled musicians, assuming you're also skilled. I don't know what that feels like. I am not like a super skilled musician, and I guess kind of sort of played music with people before, but not really. It's always like fleeting, or like I'll play piano and someone else will sing or something. It's nice though. I like that. Other way around for me, minus comedy. What's your third thing? So you're saying it was music that you went into, and then computers would have been your other choice. Do you have a third thing you would have gone into? All right, so why is this happening? We're trying to get the material on this thing and it's already been disposed. I don't even know why this would have been disposed though. Or possibly it never, oh yeah, it's the it never existed thing. That's what NPC should be doing then. I don't get why this isn't a problem on NPC. Slime has a ready. We call base ready. We don't do this on the other ones. Unless they need to call base ready? That wouldn't make sense. They should be calling it by default if I don't override it, and I haven't overridden it. Right? I'm not making that up. No, yeah, there's no ready function here. And there definitely isn't one here. Maybe, oh, maybe I need to open up the other scenes for this to have like updated or something. Fishing mark. Doesn't look like it, unless these don't have the, no, they do have the materials. But is that what caused this? Or maybe, wait, what? Seriously? That, no, that's got to be a bug. Yeah, there's a bug. Okay, I was gonna say. Third probably would have been art or voice acting. So all kind of game adjacent stuff then. If it's computers, music, art. Last band I was in used to stream live on Twitch. A lot of fun. That is super cool. Yeah. Man. Well, I definitely like producing music. And I got to say I felt a lot of validation at people saying that like the soundtrack, like Lake Fury had just come in and said, "Hey, music is fantastic." I don't know if they knew I worked on the music or what, but that's the kind of thing I'm like, yeah, I can do it. I'm not just making like random little tracks. I've played some games where the music was clearly not made by a like a, this probably sound bad, but like a true musician. And sometimes it'll get annoying and I'll turn off the music, but a lot of times it's like just having something is better than having nothing. Yeah, thanks, Light Fury. Guess computers are the core of everything for me. Another life, I'm a game dev. I mean, it's not too late. You could definitely do that sort of thing. I think you can only tackle probably so many things at once, but learning game dev with the engines that exist out there now, it's pretty accessible. All right, so I'm definitely struggling with this. Something is disposing this, and I think it's due to this issue that I filed a while ago, which I don't even have open anymore. But it's this one, right? Yeah, can't access a disposed object when using an exported node in scene inheritance. Oh my God. Oh, I know what's causing this. I need to remove it from here. These things shouldn't be set. Oh, that is tricky. That's really tricky. But I'm nearly positive that's a solution. So let's go figure out what it is. Outline holder. It's just on outline parent on hover. So we just unset these things. And then I start this again and it works. Please work. Okay, not quite. What's the problem now? Same thing, but it might be that I need to do this with outline holder as well. What did NPC do for this? Had nothing set, but it had this one set. Did this get updated? It did. Did this get updated? It did. Do I need to run it through here? No, we still have issues. Definitely plan to pursue some of the other options. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see that. Yeah, I thought maybe opening the inherited scenes would work, but now I kind of wonder if this is happening from a different part of the code entirely. Like we're seeing 12 of these things, but I don't have 12 map markers. I have 3, and then oh my God, this inherits. Okay, never mind. All right, this is a problem. We do have 12. I did not realize these 9 were map markers. Oh God, what do we do about that then? I'm gonna end up breaking quite a lot of stuff. I guess we can just convert them into the proper things now and just not fix their positions or anything. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we need 6 more of these points. Map marker. Oh, battle map markers specifically. And I don't know if it's safe to do this the other way, so I'm just going to do it like this. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are all of them. Now we put them alongside this. Good. And then we name them all the right thing. So we put old next to these. They're still called points. Yeah. And then we rename these to all of the other things. Volcano point, jungle point, crypt point, waterways point, forest 2 point, and inferno point. Then make them all uniquely accessed. Why can't you shift down to do this? There we go. And then delete all of these. And try running that. Why did I study psychology? There's a lot of stuff that I would love to know, but that I don't want to put in my limited energy toward knowing. So a great example of that is other human languages. Like, I don't have a real need to speak anything other than English. So all the languages I've tried learning over the years, I've pretty much forgotten all of them. But it'd be nice if I could keep that up. And then anytime someone does talk to me in another language, I can just start talking to them. This is still happening, but it's not happening 12 times now. It's happening, what, 3 times? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, why 3 times? All of these are now proper points, right? We should see like 9 canyons up here. Or 6, I mean, 6 canyons. And yeah, there are 6. So yeah, what's going on? Maybe these are set? No, they're not set. Oh God, I don't know what I could be doing wrong. Unless I forgot to save that. I couldn't have forgotten to save it though. When am I going to learn Spanish? I do not plan on learning Spanish anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, psychology is another one of those things that I think would be cool to know more about. But again, if I'm going to put time into anything, I'll put it into music right now. How about Norwegian? Like, I'm realistically, I'm not going to end up learning another language for a while. So the languages I've tried to learn over the course of my life, French, Hindi, Arabic, and some amount of Mandarin. This was like a month. This is probably like 3 years. This is probably like 1 to 2 years. And this is probably like 5 to 7 years. So I guess in order it'd be this. But could I speak any of these languages? Like, not really. French probably the closest, and I'm not going to speak any of it on stream. Because, yeah, I have no real reason to use these on a regular basis. Why is this not even like... Oh, it's stuck here because of this. God. Oh, this will print a bunch of times. I see. Godot stops it, though. So then this probably does indicate that there's something else I'm doing wrong with this. Do I speak Farsi? No, I wouldn't really even say I speak Arabic. Like, could I read Farsi? Probably. Would I know what I'm reading? Probably not. Any plans on doing foreign translations? Yeah. Just not me personally. And thanks, Lloyd. Yeah, right now, one of the things I know I showed this a bunch of times, but for those who haven't seen this, I got this. And I mean, I could just show this by picking it up, but it's easier for me to show through this. I got a synthesizer. This is not all that cheap. So I was really on the fence about buying this. And I researched a lot of different synths. And I thought this was a really good choice as a first hardware synth. And I've learned so much already just by like seeing how this works, being able to tweak knobs on this thing, and then also being able to see it in here. Like seeing how the waveforms change. Like if you explained, hang on, let me see if there's an easy way to do this without deleting my progress. Okay. Yeah, I can show this pretty easily, I guess. All right, so let's take this, something like chorus. If you put a chorus effect on something, you can hear what it sounds like, but it's not necessarily clear what it's doing. But when you see these waveforms like this and you change this and realize how that changes the sound, I think that helps a lot. And then changing these other things and seeing what that might do. And these don't really have visual impact as much, although this is like shading the areas under and above this curve. So yeah, it's interesting to be able to do this sort of thing and see how it's modifying the sound. Looking at their MIDI keyboards for controlling main stage. What do you look for in a MIDI keyboard? I guess like key feel and maybe some. Yeah, I guess there are a lot of functions that can differentiate them. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, we have 6 of these errors. No, we have 9 of these errors. So this is happening for every single node. So I haven't fixed anything. Oh, man. All right, there's got to be something else I'm doing that's wrong then. Because I don't run into this issue over here, and MPC does exactly the same code that we had, and it was in ready. I guess the thing I don't understand is this. This has the same problem listed here, right? Don't assume that this is set. If node with shader is not null, then set this. So we don't have a shader material, right? Or no, that's not it. We're trying to access something that was disposed. I don't understand. All right, let's put a breakpoint on this. Let's see what's happening. Decent number of faders. I see. Yeah. This doesn't even get hit? Okay. Oh, that complicates things. It's this. Node with shader is not null. It's calling into this, but it can't get the material, or it's already been disposed. Okay. This would make sense if I had done anything special over here. Maybe it has to do with it. I'm trying to access something that's on the root node. That is the only difference I can think of, which would mean that we just have to unset this and then in code set it. It's easy to do. I just don't get why I'd even need to do that. Do either of you have an aerophone, like a digital aerophone? Because this sort of thing looks interesting to me. I don't know how hard it is to play. And I guess even if I could learn, should I learn something like this? I want one. There's another thing. What is it called? A melodica? What I'm thinking of? A keyboard that you blow into? Yeah. I wonder if this is any fun. You have a melodica? Do you like it? Oh my God, we did it. Okay, so this kind of shows me that outlining the town looks a little goofy. Because it looks like we're highlighting a slime and then the pond. But it is clear that we're highlighting these nodes. So, I mean, that part is working. It's louder than I expected. The outline's a little thick. Well, that's so that we can zoom out and still show you at a decent thickness for this. But yeah, we could change the thickness. It's just like, does that look strange? And I guess if we want it to not look strange, we just include some transparent. Oh no, it can't be transparent because then we're going to highlight it. Or we're not going to highlight it. I guess we can turn off the transparency. We can see what that looks like. So for this, we go into its material and change its parameters so that its transparency threshold. Wait, it's 0. What? Oh, I see. I see. This wasn't meant to find fully transparent. It's meant to find partially transparent pixels. Yeah, so we need to add in some like partially transparent thing if we wanted to kind of circle around this. Yeah, it takes non-transparent things as if they were, yeah. Well, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's better than nothing. I think this way it's at least clear what you're hovering over. Yeah. All right. Wow. Well, this has definitely been good progress. I guess let's go do some mindless work here. Oh, by the way, I have a great idea. I kind of mentioned this the other day, but there's this game. It's actually a different game than the one I mentioned. I think it's called Oh Hi. Yeah, it's binary Sudoku. Can you play this online? I think I can just show this off then without even needing to just talk about it. Yeah. Okay. So, how do you get out of the tutorial? Okay. So, the way that this works is it's sort of like Sudoku in the rules that no column or row can match any other column or row. And each column and row needs to have 2 of one color and 2 of another. So in this case, it's like, since we know we have to have 2 of each, then we do yellow, yellow, blue, blue. And then this column now needs 2 of each. So we fill in 2 yellows. And then this row needs 2 blues. So we fill in 2 blues. And this one needs 2 yellows. So we fill in that. And now what we have to do is, because we know that no 2 columns can be the same, these 2 columns, the only way to make them different is to put a blue here and a yellow here. And then you fill in the remaining couple and you win. That's not the point though. The point is, I wonder if you can use this as a gauge for whether you should do mindful work. So basically, you measure how long it takes you to beat a 10 by 10 game. And then on your lunch break or something, you do a 10 by 10 game. And if it's enough standard deviations away from your average, then you use that as a proxy for your coding work and you don't do it. And I think this is brilliant, but I want to know if it actually, if it's actually good, if it'll actually work. Yeah, I guess there was one other rule, which is you can't have more than 2 of the same color in a row. So like you'd fill in things like this and do something like that. Yeah, so right now I feel fine, so I don't think I need this. But after lunch today, I wonder if I should try that out. Procrastinate on doing that. I mean, if you're procrastinating on doing that, then it probably means that doing the other work wouldn't be good. Basically, I think it's a good way to use it as a differentiator between, laziness versus cognitive overload. And I honestly do want to give this a shot at some point. Like a day that I'm feeling sluggish, try a puzzle and see how long does it take me. And, it's a thing we can all kind of do together as a stream. I'm glad we finally figured this out. And I guess, yes, the cause of this was that we needed to set this here. I wonder if I should write something else for this. If you ever get exceptions about, where's the exception? This. It mentions dispose. No, it doesn't. If you ever get exceptions about this, then it probably needs you, or probably means you need to unset exported nodes in the editor and then set them in code. And it depends on your scene hierarchy. Wait a second. If I'm understanding this correctly, outline parent on hover isn't actually a problem? Yeah, I don't want to do this right now because I have too much kind of on the line, but I think, oh wait, we could try it with the map marker. I think we could set these here. I think we just can't set outline holder, but I'm not positive about that. So let's try this out. And then run this. In which case, maybe NPC doesn't even need this. It might totally break. No, it didn't. Yeah. Why is that happening? Does that happen every time I launch, or was that just like a one-time thing? Happens every time I launch. Did it happen only because I changed this? Because you're resetting it in code? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. So I could have kept this the way that it was, outline holder and clickable area, and then not set these things here. Wait, does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so it's only when it refers to something that is the root node of the tree. That is very interesting because that means that there's another workaround for this, which is to just change the root node of the tree. I did not realize that. I should probably write that in this thing, huh? Where's the bug? Here? What's this other one? Interesting. Base.dispose is called. So it's only when it refers to that. So it's not add a node that references another node. It's add a node that references the root node. Oh. Is this on Amazon? I don't think so. Take a look. Someone might be selling it. For whatever reason, the ratings aren't good on some of these sellers. But yeah, I do see a couple of these. I wonder why the ratings are bad. Huh. Hang on a second. Okay. Okay, I kind of want to write about this here, but I need to go check out my repro first to make sure that I'm correct in what I'm even saying. Yeah, the base scene, then we have a node referencer. And the base scene has a node referencer referencing the base, I'm guessing. Node referencer references the base. Yeah, wow, okay. I believe, hey Matt, I believe that the bug only occurs when, did I write it in the original node referencer? Yeah. When the referenced node is the root node of the scene. This wasn't obvious to me at first. In other words, I should really just test this. I don't want to do this. This is this is exactly this. If people have seen this GIF, this is what I always feel like when I do this. It's like I have this bug. I don't want to go into this rabbit hole, but that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to play this whole thing. So if you want to see the rest of that, feel free to click the link in chat. Yeah, I'll do the work. Fine. How do we open this? I guess make a new window and import from downloads. This one. Yeah, modify the project. I don't care. So, oh my God. I don't care about this either, right? All right, so if I just hit play, this should break, I believe. Because that was the whole point of the repro. Yeah, so it's got a breakpoint, or it's got an issue, cannot access this post object. Great, so that's the issue. But if I were to add a new node here, so just any node, and make this the root of the scene, then there should be no issue anymore. That's correct. Well, 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 well. In other words, the original repro had this base. What even was that? A canvas group? Canvas group base. And then underneath it, what is that thing? A node. Node referencer. Pointed to base. But the issue won't repro if you change the scene hierarchy so that base is no longer the root node. Then this points to base, yeah. Okay. Hey, Forrest. Are you going to go early access with all these demo updates? I don't think I want to do early access, but I'm not probably going to make a final decision on that until June 16th at the earliest, because that's the end of Next Fest. I'm hoping we get more reviews before then, before it's over, and we can start to see like what are people talking about. We only have 2 reviews right now, and they're from people sort of in the orbit of Skeleseller, so they're not random people. But once we get some random reviews, I think it'll be interesting to see. I got to make another trailer for Skeleseller as well, and then I want to try running Reddit ads just to see how it'll go. I'm not super convinced on the Reddit ad front. I did some research yesterday, and people generally said there are a lot of bots. It's hard to run ad campaigns on any site, and it takes money to iterate and learn. So I was thinking, okay, I'll spend like $100. Let's see what happens. But in order to call this a success, we pretty much need to figure out how much, like, what's our target metric? What do we even try to hit? And there is no game for sale, so it can't be money. So there's no way we can make our money back immediately. But we'll probably aim for wish lists, right? So now, like, how many wish lists could we say are worth $100? And if you think about it, let's say it was just money. You need to make about $130 for the post Steam cut to be $100. So if we were selling a game, it wouldn't be worth running ads for $100 unless we're going to make at least $130. So now, like, how many wish lists is $130? And you could figure out the average conversion rate maybe from other people's games, and just figure out the math for that. So I figured, I don't know what this has to be, like 500 wish lists or something. And I don't see that ever happening, but it's probably worth trying. Does Steam even prompt you to leave a review for demos? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, the demo existed for longer than the reviews existed. Also, thank you, Matt. And thanks, Boomer. A while ago, I kind of mentioned there's this concept that like Steam doesn't show your game until you get at least 10 reviews. I think that's only when, I think this is only when people buy your game and leave a review. Demos cannot be purchased. This is just a fact of Steam. You cannot ever purchase a demo. So I don't know how this rule factors into that. Like if I get 10 reviews on the demo, does it unlock something? Does Steam start showing it to more people? And I don't know the answer to that. I watched a video last night by Steam themselves, but it was from like 2 years ago, and I don't think they mentioned that specific thing. Hey, Golden Gun. Pumping short form content is much more valuable than paid ads right now. One of my clients' apps is at $2, 2 million MRR from paying TikTok and Instagram influencers. What are UGC ads? Advertisements that feature content created by users. Oh, user generated content. I see. Yeah, Golden Gun. I as a way of reminding myself I need to do this, I've still left your messages there, and I thank you for sending them. And I still believe that what you're saying could be successful for Skeleseller. I just need to invest the time to do it. And I've also probably got to get comfortable with publishing to platforms I hate, like TikTok and Instagram. So I do want to give that a shot. I'm still a little iffy on how it's going to work exactly, but yeah, I want to put some effort into that. And I was reading someone else's game experience on Reddit. They got like, I don't know, 160,000 wish lists or something like that. And they talked about their own marketing efforts were like a little drip into that. Maybe they got whatever, let's say 10,000 over 2 years. But then they wondered, did that 10,000 help them snowball into the other 150,000? I don't know. I don't know how this works. You can use tools to post to all platforms at once. It wasn't so much that posting or scheduling was a problem. It's more that I dislike the idea of Instagram and TikTok on a fundamental level and don't want to contribute to the platforms. So I think I need to just, I think I just need to bend that belief. And I don't like the prospect of that. But yeah, I'll write this down. Shorts aren't cozy enough, right? What? Is that a real message for you, Technic? Much higher on conversions. Yeah, the way I look at it is if you produce a video and you don't have a problem with putting it on a particular platform, like an ethical problem, then you might as well put it on every platform. Because worst case scenario, I feel like you just get fewer views. It's probably not going to hurt your brand to have a video like that. What am I doing? I think I'm saying we're pretty much ready for the cleanup changes post launch. Instagram is kind of fun. I've just never, like, I had an Instagram account for Adam Learns. I guess I technically still do. And I posted like 2 pictures and I was like, I just don't get this. And I see my friends on Instagram or TikTok and they look like zombies while they're on it. You wouldn't touch Twitter? Yeah, I've I've stopped interacting with Twitter, and I went on Blue Sky for a while, and I've just never been interested in Twitter or Blue Sky, and I don't totally get the appeal, I guess. And I think it's just me. I think it's my viewpoints on social media. Like, I guess Twitch is technically social media, but I feel like I'm doing my job. So it doesn't feel like social media. And I think YouTube is kind of similar, but it kind of not really. It just feels like I'm watching TV. But everything else feels like social media, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know, whatever the other things I'd even consider. They force content on you that you don't want to see. Blue Sky doesn't seem to do that. And maybe that's why I don't like Blue Sky is that I'm only getting content that I'm actually in a feed that I like that someone else curated somehow. And I actually don't seem to like that feed very much. But yeah, I still just the idea of microblogging. I think what I'd like it for the best if I were to use it would be for jokes. I think for jokes is probably great. Do we review the game or the demo? You can't review the game. I don't think there's a way to do that. Yeah, there's I think no way to leave that. Do you have a review button on the game page? Because there should be one on the demo page somewhere. Where is that? Is it? Wait, no, I'm logged in as the account that made this game, so that's why this isn't showing. Hang on, let me see what this looks like on my. Wait, no, I can't do that either. Yeah, I don't know. Can't seem to find the review button on the demo page. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I don't know where it shows up. What does it say? Oh, I saw this. The review hasn't shown it. Yeah, there's some holding period, I think, for them. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna fill out the journal. I know I'm just kind of hanging out right now. I'm probably gonna get lunch pretty soon. But I am actually really, really happy with the progress today already. I think this has been going great. Got floating text working in screen space and started revamping the battle map for usability. I think we can finish the revamp of the battle map. And if we do that, I think I'd even just be happy with that. What else do we do? Intro, music, screen space, text, possibly more. Oh, I have something else. Git stash list. Is it the intro? Yes. Okay. Whew. So then there is not the something more. I think that's it. And we did this. We started working on the music again. In fact, I think on Friday we should probably try to get back to the intro. In fact, we did the enchanter as well. We've been making some pretty good progress then. Yeah, intro, music, and things I want to work on. Intro, music, and like hiding the empty plots of land on the map. I don't necessarily want to work on this, but things I want done, I guess I should say. Then we can bump this up to here. Right, journal over here too. All right. But yeah, in general, this has been going really well. This is the activity area. Let me log in on my other account and maybe I can see. Give me a sec. Log in, sign in. Use Steam mobile app to confirm your sign in. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I've never written a review on Steam. Hmm. Just a form near the top of the page. Maybe it knows that I'm also a dev, that this project is also a dev, and that's why I can't see it. That might be it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I could check. I could just type in Terraria or something like that and see where it shows for this. Why is Terraria ignored? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a form that shows up, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I can't see it then. Got it. So I must have listed both of these accounts as developers for the game. And they don't let you review your own game. This developer is the greatest. I would definitely get a pizza with this developer. All right, I am going to go get lunch. I know I haven't done a lot of work in the last, whatever, half hour. I'm still feeling pretty good, though. And I think we've proven that the rest of this afternoon should be pretty straightforward. We have some paths to figure out, positioning. In general, it shouldn't be too bad. Mouse anchoring inside the game means you cannot move the window around in windowed mode. Yeah, confining the mouse to the screen works very weirdly. And I wonder if it's not intended to be used in windowed mode. We might need to look into that. I'll write it down. You leave a negative review of your own game. Bad haters. Perhaps the setting we have should only be used in full screen mode. Try and move the window, it gets thrown off screen. Yeah, you can turn off confined to whatever this thing, the second option from the bottom here, confined mouse to game window. If you turn that off, you should be able to move it. Yeah. And by the way, can you confirm that as long as you're doing this right now? Can you just uncheck this and see if it works the way you'd expect? Because it should work fine. And then maybe we want this to be off by default. Okay, yeah. All right, I'll have to think about that. What's a keyboard called? Why no letters and 3 spaces? How do you live without a number row? Don't understand this spicy keyboard if they're actually better. So to answer all these pretty quickly, the keyboard is called the corn. And why no letters? It's just no printed keycaps. Like, you could certainly get letters on the keycaps and then use them. The reason why people sometimes don't tend to do that is because each key does so many different things. So for example, why no number row? Like, I can press this key and now these are all the numbers. And they're laid out like a numpad. So I have plus, I have minus, I have enter, I have slash, I have period. Well, period's not there. It's actually over here. And I can type the letter X in here as well. And then I can hold this key and turn them all into symbols. So it's like every key is doing somewhere between 1 and 4 things usually. And is it actually better? It's just a lot less hand movement. You've probably seen me type. This is English, right? But if I'm typing code, function foo, return 42, like, you can see my hand's not really moving for any of this stuff. It's just my fingers that are moving. Isn't it hard to remember? It takes some getting used to, yeah. Shows the password layer. All right, Hunter too. Yeah, so that lack of hand movement can potentially reduce strain. It could potentially be faster, but in general, it's just like fun to type on. How do you program it? Take a look at this. So this is the C code behind my keyboard layer, and it gets fed into QMK, which stands for Quantum Mechanical Keyboard. It's just firmware for the keyboard. So you're basically controlling the firmware, and you could do things like set colors. You can respond in different ways to key codes. You could have it so that when you press one key, it types out 3 characters like I did here. You could have it type out a password or something if you wanted to. You should never do that, but you could do that. All right, yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'll be back in like 30, 60 minutes, something like that. Come back in the afternoon, finish this stuff up. Like I said, I'm pretty happy about the progress, so I've been taking it a little bit slower. But thank you all for watching so far. Thanks for the support, and I will hopefully see you in the afternoon. Take care.